Hold on, I'm saying. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on wherever you at. The time of this recording, this is episode 103 of the Restricted Zone podcast, and I'm with a large crew today. Kyrie, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Who's gonna do it?
Let's sir. Chris, introduce yourself to the people out here, man.
What's up, world? It's your boy here. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Seam, introduce yourself to everyone out here, man.
The Sixers suck. Hello.
Wow, that's a very the Sixers suck. Okay, that's one hell of an introduction. Johnny, introduce yourself to the people, man. Johnny. All
Am I
right.
am I on?
On all
Yo, just Johnny tapping in, baby. The analyst, not an
right.
advocate, just an analyst.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chris. It, I already got to you, Chris.
You sure did.
Mark. Talk to the people, man.
What's up, Colin? Thanks for having me. I don't really have much of an intro. I'm just ready to do this.
Abracadabra, man. We had it set up for you already.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. We got it set up for you right. But now we got a lot to talk about. The second round had already started. Man, we got shocking results right now as we speak. We have one series in particular. I think a lot of people are surprised. I think I want to start with them because they're just the most interesting series out of the West and East, respectfully. The Suns and Nuggets. You know, Chris, we got to dive in right into the meat and potatoes. I just want to throw this out there before I swing to Chris, obviously, since he's the Nuggets fan, I let him go first. I just want to throw this out for you guys and just want to see what what your thoughts are in terms of this. I think for the Nuggets and the Suns series, and hear me out, me personally, the Suns could possibly be swept in this matchup. And it's not far-fetched to even think that. Now, will it happen? I don't think the Nuggets will sweep the Suns. I really don't think so. I don't see KD and Booker going out like that. But the possibility isn't as far-fetched. It's
You don't see
crazy.
KD going out like that.
I don't see KD going out like that, to be honest with you.
He already got
He
swept.
did that.
But
He sure did.
to happen again, I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, but it's not a far fetched possibility. The Nuggets could possibly sweep the Suns. Now, I just want to ask Chris first. In terms of that, do you think that's a strong possibility and that could very well happen? This is a question for everyone could answer after Chris. Definitely want to get you guys' thoughts on that, but I will start with Chris first. Go ahead, Chris.
I have too much respect for Devin Booker and Monty Williams
Mm,
to say that they'll get swept.
okay.
But this is over in five now. As what I've seen so far, this is ended in five.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Kyrie, nah, Kyrie's not rocking with that. No, he's not rocking with that. Oh, you got to unmute yourself, Kyrie. Sound like you muted. Unmute yourself.
You can't hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh, my fault, my fault. But
Gotcha.
no, I was saying I agree 100%.
Oh, all right, you agree.
Exactly. You've seen the games. You've seen the game plan. What did I say before the series started? We are going to exploit the Suns' lack of depth. They had KD and Booker playing 45 minutes in game two, and what happened? It didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything. I told you before the series started, I did not care if one of them went off in the game. Devin
All
Booker had 35 last game. KD had 24 points, but he shot 25 times.
That's
I'm
true.
okay with that. I can live with that. I told
KD
you they
was
need to
ass,
both
bro.
exactly. They need to score 40 apiece to beat us. And
Hmm.
mind you, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. played terrible. I mean horrible.
I
We
was
the only person that really showed up that game was Nikola Jokic. He carried us through the first half until Caldwell Pope was able to hit a couple threes in the third.
That's true.
and
And
I was and honestly, yeah. Go ahead, finish off, Chris. Sorry.
so I was about to say was, and again, what did I say? They need to stay healthy. Chris Paul gets hurt, so now they got to rely on Cameron Payne for the next three games. That's if they can make it to a game six for Chris Paul to come back. But Chris Paul really wasn't doing much either while he was in the game. Yeah, he had 11 points, which is cool, but he really wasn't playing defense. He can't do what he used to do anymore. He don't got those legs under him anymore, and it shows. So I've been saying it since the season, before the series started. They have no depth, and that's going to be their downfall. And as you see, if Booker or KD are not scoring, they can't produce points. Their bench scores 14 points per game in the
Mm.
playoffs. You know how terrible that is? That means on average, the three people that get in probably can maybe get you 5 points. That's about it.
Their
And then
boy,
you
their
rely on
bench had four, bro. They
I'm,
bench had 4 points last game.
That's tough.
my point exactly. If KD and Booker do not get you 40, they cannot win. And because of that, this series is
Yeah,
going to end in 5. I feel like I know Denver. I don't know if Denver's going to win game 3 or game 4, but they're taking a game in Phoenix. I promise you that. And they're gonna
Hmm.
finish it in Denver in game 5.
Kyrie, I'm gonna swing it to you. Well, hold on. I'm gonna swing it to Kyrie first, and I'm gonna let Seam and then Johnny go. Then I'm gonna swing it to Mark. But Kyrie, we already got one prediction for this round. We got Nuggets in 5. Are you co-signing that sentiment? Or you feel like it's one hell of a fight we have yet to
yeah,
see?
yeah. Like I said, I agree. I don't got too much more to. This really hit the head exploiting Phoenix. One thing I also want to note was Phoenix next option to even be like a top scorer like throughout the game like in the star lineup is DeAndre Ayton. And that's even kind of up because he gets a lot of his buckets pick and roll, and Chris Paul creates a lot of points opportunities for him. And they had a lot of success going to him in the game too. He finished off with a good. I mean, he had 17 shooting, but it's just like at certain points, especially when they're behind, they don't stop them whatsoever. With Chris Paul being out, they're not going to be able to score. So again, their bench is full of specialists. You have guys like Ish Wainwright, Torrey Craig, all defenders, and I don't know where TJ Warren. I don't know what the. I
TJ
don't
Warren can get you some buckets. TJ Warren.
think it really even happened that much being, but just the better niggas, right? And you need points, like you need like off the bench, and those guys are playing. Even Landry Shamet, shooter, like it's looking good for Phoenix, yo.
It's not looking too good for Phoenix. I guess we got 2 5-1s right now. The Suns gracefully, not even gracefully, probably getting gentlemen swept. Seam, are you co-signing the 5-1 defeat in terms of the Suns? Or you think the Suns are pushing for a game 6 and 7?
I mean, we'll see how the series go, bro. I don't think the playoff series really starts until game 3. Like the first 2 games is
Okay.
whatever. You're supposed to win the first 2 home games, but I agree with Kyrie in terms of like what's been happening on the court. I think uh they probably should be getting AM more involved, but AM been bothering because obviously like not even defensively or like the way he's like they're not giving the ball like that. That's not his fault. But you can like Jokic got W rebounds, bro. He's already giving you buckets. You gonna let him outboard you too, bro? You gotta work. Like you already
That's
getting
true.
cooked by the boy. You might as well like you gotta get some rebounds. At least out rebound him. You got 8 rebounds. He got 16. Like that's crazy to me. And then like
Yes.
Kyrie said too, bro. Monty Williams is terrible, bro. He's a terrible coach. You're obviously struggling to score off the bench, and you're sitting there running with Torrey Craig and Cameron Payne, bro. Like you got Terrence Ross and TJ Warren just sitting there. Like if
Right.
you need some offense off the bench, try them out. You're not even trying them. You need offense
Exactly.
bad, especially now with CP probably gonna be out game 3. If they don't get burned, I don't know what Monty's thinking, bro. To be honest, and like
Mm.
like the Suns, I think we all talked about. I had Denver winning the series anyway, just because I didn't think Phoenix would be ready, just because everything relies so much on KD and Book. Like there's not much going on outside of that. They depth is like actually god awful. And I think Monty Williams isn't a good coach either. Like not a championship coach, I think.
Really?
And
Mm.
Mike Malone is, to be
Uh,
honest.
Wait. See, you had them winning.
I had Denver win the year. I
Yeah,
said
you
Denver in
talking a
7.
lot of you talking crazy for the Suns. Because when I was talking about the Suns before the playoffs started, I heard they a top 5 defense. They got this. They got
They
that.
were a top 5 defense.
on the receipts.
Hey,
Now,
that's
They were a top
crazy.
5 defense.
Now I'm gonna just wait
They
for my
were like
turn though. I'm gonna just wait for
they
my
I'm
was a
about to
turn
say,
top
though.
5
barring
defense though. They
injury,
like that's actually facts.
No, I'm gonna just wait for my turn, bro. I got
But
you.
yeah,
I'm gonna let
I'm
you
not.
go.
I thought. I
I
mean,
need a buck.
I
Alright.
still think Phoenix is
I'm gonna
capable
turn
of
my
winning this
camera
series
on
if
for
they lock
this.
in, bro.
Turn your
But
camera on. But listen,
I'm gonna turn my camera on when it's my turn.
Wait,
I still
Johnny.
think Phoenix is capable of being anybody just because they have KD and Book. I think though I said that last pod too. When you got those two, you're capable of being anybody. But the depth is obviously a question. But I think the first two games isn't. I'm not sitting there like, oh, the series is over. It's two home games. Like the Nuggets are supposed to win those, and the Suns are supposed to win their two home games. So we'll see. We'll see what happens game 3 and 4.
All right, that sounds fair. But before I swing to Johnny, you still rocking with the Nuggets overall. That's your final decisive winner
Yeah, I had the Nuggets before the series even started, bro. I'm not
before
gonna
the series even started. So you
lie.
already made his prediction. So Johnny, I'm coming to you now. Talk to me. What answer are we getting from you? The
I
advocate.
it I can't even advocate for this team. Like the main thing is I even before the series started, I had I circled this as might have been it might have been an interesting series, but no, not at all, not at all. Like basically the thing that made me the thing that made me the maddest about this is the CP3 injury. Like he might be out from games 3 to 5. And I
Right.
feel like because of everything else that you guys had said, because of the fact that you need a facilitator to make lesser guys better, that other than KD and Book, you're not gonna get theirs. But that's what CP3 was there for, to help those others become like, make them useful enough to where as though they can probably be sufficient. But without Chris Paul, I would say, yeah, gentleman sweep as well. Like I feel like he was the main my main reason. I feel like if he was the main thing that probably would have helped hold the glue together for the teams, for the players like the Torrey Craigs and the Cameron Paytons, and when they come onto the floor. And but for the fact that, yeah, 14 points per game off the bench, that wasn't helping either. I already knew that Dev and KD was going to get burnt out. But the simple fact is that Phoenix, they just Denver's deeper than they are. They're more well constructed, and they just have better chemistry. They just have way better chemistry. And at the end of the day, I never liked Monty Williams as a coach. I'm surprised that they kept. I think they forced like DeAndre Ayton to continue to work with him, even though it was clear they weren't getting along after last year's playoff ended. So that just like festered into this season. They try to get KD to save it. I don't think they're clicking in time. I don't think they're gelling in time. And of course, CP3 gets hurt again in a crucial time in the playoffs. This has happened before with him.
Of course.
Um, I just one of my favorite point guards, but it's just sad to say I don't think it's just going to happen for him.
Right.
I think that was the Suns' best chance of pushing this series would have been Chris Paul, his facilitating ability and the impact he would have had on the court. But I would give it a gentleman's sweep as well. And that's sad to say. But at the end of the day, Denver is just they're just too well put together.
Well, and Johnny, you made some a lot of key points before I swing, and I'm gonna swing it to Mar. You made a lot of key points, and the one thing I want to highlight, Mar, just let me know when you're ready. There's one thing I want to highlight what Johnny said, and I think it was really important was that CP3's opportunity. Now, I just want to ask Mar this. This is a question everyone else can chime into. I really feel like maybe the trade for KD, maybe the Suns really was better off not having KD on the team. Maybe they should have just kept Mikal Bridges. They had a solid bench.
Ridiculous.
They should have just
Yeah,
kept. Maybe they
it
didn't
Hell
need
hurt.
no.
KD after all.
Mikel leaving definitely hurt them. That it
Right.
hurt them more than I thought
Hell
it did.
no.
Hell no.
They
Wait,
get
hold on.
washed. They had
Really?
McKellen came, they will get washed the same way, bro. They made the
Really?
right trade. They just got to build upon it. It's not an L trade just because they lost this year after playing like 8 games together, bro. They got to
Okay.
build upon what they have. You have, I think Devin Booker is their number one guy now. We've seen that in the playoffs for sure. You traded for Kevin Durant to be your site to take pressure off him to be your second option pretty much. That's how they've been playing with Booker as the number one guy, KD is second option. It's just about building the depth around those two. Fire Monty, uh, trade whoever you got to trade to get some depth around Book and KD, and you can come back next year better, bro. If they lose, like
I,
I don't think there's a why people talking about some. Oh, no, you shouldn't have traded for KD just for them to be a second round exit anyway, bro. They were getting bounced in second round last year with McKellen and Cam Bridges. So what are we talking about?
Okay. All right. Listen. All right. So Kyrie, I'm gonna swing it to Mar. Mar definitely got to get
Took
his two
seven
cents.
games, but
I'm looking.
still,
I'm dying for Mar's response. But go ahead,
Oh, I
Kyrie.
got you.
go
Trust
ahead.
me, I will not let you down.
it took 7 games.
All right. Go ahead, Kyrie.
I said, swing it to Mark. He ain't talking.
All right. Listen, Mar. Go ahead, man. The spotlight's on
Yeah,
you,
I
man.
got you.
The
Oh
lights is on.
yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
lights is on. The
Oh
lights is
yeah.
on.
Okay.
The
Oh
lights
yeah.
is
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay. So
You
Yeah.
you
so
better not say
I'm
nothing
taking the
foolish.
braid out.
Yes,
You better
on.
not.
sir.
I
Lights
took the
is
braid
on.
out.
Crack the
Cracking the
knuckles.
So
knuckle.
so look,
Oh, he's
here it
about to
is, right?
unleash.
Here it is, right?
Let's get
Here
it.
it is. Here it
I'm
is. All
ready.
facts. Here it is, right?
Team here for it
I
too.
feel myself in this one. Hold
Let's
on.
go.
The Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix. When I said this before the playoffs started. I said the Phoenix Suns are the Brooklyn Nets, and the first
Mm,
response was the Suns are top 5 defense. And when
mm.
I said, yeah, in the regular season, because the playoffs is different, it was still top 5 defense. Nothing's gonna change. Blah blah blah. If the Clippers are fully healthy, Suns don't get past the first round. Plain and simple. Kawhi, Paul George, Norman Powell
I
already
don't
dropped.
disagree with you.
Norman Powell already dropped 40 on them.
I
That's
don't
right.
disagree
Like,
with you.
like they don't make it out the
I'm
they don't make it out the
surprised because you're a
first
Paul
round.
George hater.
Whoa, no, no, no,
No.
no. Me? I support.
No,
I
I say I'm
support.
surprised Tyler don't
Oh,
disagree with you.
oh
I'm
Yeah,
yeah.
I
surprised
do.
he
But
agrees with you
he's
as
right
much as he don't
because
like Paul George. I'm
he's
surprised,
right.
but I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, most definitely. They don't make it out that round. But
Mm.
importantly, for this round in particular, it's over. It's over. They're not winning the game. It's
You're
over.
not winning the game.
It's over,
Oh,
bro. Monty, when I first
you got the
saw
broom with you,
Monty,
Mark?
yeah, bro, it's over, bro. You might as well just take the brooms to Phoenix, bro. Monty, don't, bro. People get on Doc Rivers for not making adjustments.
That's true.
Monty Williams will lose you a game just because he won't send help defense on the best player.
That's true.
They lost to Giannis in the
Well, I
finals
mean, wait. The
because
thing with
he left DeAndre Ayton on the island. They lost to the Mavericks because they were never double teaming Luka Doncic like they had another All Star. They just let him play 1-on-1 all game.
That's true.
And now they're gonna lose to the Nuggets because they're
That's
gonna
true.
let Nikola Jokic play one. Like you have Bismack Biyombo on Nikola Jokic, and you're not sending any help. Bismack
Barbecue
Biyombo,
chicken. Barbecue chicken
Bismack,
alert.
bro,
Dodger A is not
Bismack,
effective either. That's the worst
bro,
part. Neither
bro.
of
I
them is
saw a
effective.
play. Bro, I saw a play. Somebody shot the ball. Jokic got, he does little tips. He got the rebound. I swear, Josh Okogie was on him. No one helped him. Nobody helped that man. Josh Okogie on the best
Hey,
center in the league. If you wanna call him that, no one helped.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
I'm
you
just
said it right. Repeat
hey,
repeat that
and I'm
last
just
sentence. The best in the
looking.
league, right?
repeat the
I'm
last.
just
No, let him
looking.
finish his point. We're not getting into that.
Repeat the
Not yet.
last
Let him
sentence.
finish
Let
his
him
point.
finish. Let him finish.
I'm
Let him cook.
watching the I'm watching the game and I'm just like, what's the game plan? Like, okay, you don't want to obviously double team Joker because he can pass the ball.
That's
But
true.
if you're having a night where Jamal Murray's 3 for 14, Michael Porter Jr. can't get it going, and your only other scorer is Aaron Gordon, I'm throwing the whole team at him. Like, what do you got to lose? I'm just saying, like, Monty
Uh,
will lose you a game because he just won't double team or send help defense. And with you losing, and I already knew this was gonna happen. Chris
mm.
Paul's been getting hurt since he was 24. It wasn't gonna change when he was 37. It wasn't gonna change 13 years later. Still gonna get hurt. It's over. Maybe with Chris Paul, they win a game. It's over, bro. Because
It's
they shouldn't
over.
even have beat the Clippers. So it's
Uh,
over. Like
you
it's
saying
over, man.
they're just full of phonies, full of frauds
Bro,
besides Devin Booker.
their regular season, bro. Bro,
Just
no, bro. Only person I give props to is Devin Booker, bro.
that's it.
Other than
Hold
that, like I don't want to compare DeAndre Ayton and Nikola Jokic because the touches is not even the same. So
that's
Yeah,
the
it's
you
so
just
better
it's
not.
it's
You
it's,
better
it's
so.
not.
even, bro. I'm
over,
not
bro.
even. Obviously,
I,
They
all of them
tried
not gonna
doing
be the
that.
same, bro.
They
But even
actually
with
tried doing that. They tried doing that.
but
well,
for
that's
with the
They
crazy.
touches,
tried
bro, I
comparing them
agree.
to. Yo,
They
yeah,
made
not
a
that.
great point with
No, they
the
tried doing that.
Hold
bro.
on,
That
I
Troy.
don't
get
even
the
make
touches.
sense.
You're not going to outscore Jokic, but you can't let Jokic outscore you and double your
And I'll
rebounds at the
rebound
same
you,
time. Like you
of
can't. He's sitting there
course.
every time Aiden get a stop.
But
He's
it's
sitting
not
there
all on
getting
him.
them little tips that he talking about. Them little tips. Like, come on, bro. You got. Aiden
But
got to
that's my
play
but
with
that's
some
my
heart
thing
with it.
though. What's the game plan, Monty? If you see Ayton not getting the boards, you tell everybody to crash. It's the playoffs.
That's
You
why.
tell
That's why
everybody
Jokic
to
is
go
so.
crash.
That's why Jokic is so good or so good offensively. When you talking about the helping, you help. He's probably the best passer in the league. He's gonna pick it apart. But obviously, at that point, he got 40 and everybody else struggling. It's like just get the
Why
ball out of his
not?
hands, right? But still,
Exactly. Why not?
it's
It's
easier
over,
said than
bro.
done because Denver got guys who can They could attack those closeout, knockdown shots. They run off the ball, cutting and everything. Like that's what makes Jokic so good because you send those doubles and send that help, he's gonna pick it apart every time. And if you don't, he's just gonna cook your big man 1-on-1.
4 games.
That's why Jokic the best center in the
Ah,
league.
It's
It's
Mark
it's
calling
over, bro.
sleep.
it's
That's why
Mark
beautiful
calling
Jokic
to
the best
see.
sleep.
center in the league.
All
It's
right.
Over,
beautiful.
Okay.
bro.
All
It's
right. So,
beautiful to see.
Chris, I want to swing it to Chris. You have anything else to add? Now, swing it to Kyrie, then Johnny. We'll move on to the next matchup.
I
Go ahead.
I do have one question, only
Go ahead.
one, and I just want to maybe I just don't pay a lot of attention to Monty Williams like the rest of you do, but I'm hearing a lot of slander, and I'm curious to know why. I'll say that. Now I
Bro,
heard
because he's
Mars take in the
playing, bro. He's sitting there playing, bro. Damian Lee didn't get minutes the whole playoffs, and now all of a sudden he's closing out games. Like who? What? When did you? Like what's going on? Landry Shamet was terrible all first round and was getting 30 minutes every game, and scoring 0 points, bro. He was terrible. You have no offense on the bench. You have Terrence Ross and T.J. Warren who have averaged 15 plus before, just sitting there, bro. What's wrong with Monty Williams? Look at last year against the Mavs, bro. Bro,
Oh,
D Book
man.
and CP was getting blitzed on every screen. He did not change the offense up not one time, bro. Monty Williams is terrible. They need to fire
Mm.
him immediately.
okay,
Immediately.
okay,
Expeditiously.
Immediately.
okay, okay.
Expeditiously.
I just wanted to know, but outside of
Tired of
that though,
boy, bro. I'm tired of him.
I'm enjoying
Outside of
everything
that,
I hear to see. You said you're trying to
so
bet.
outside of that,
Kyrie.
I'm
outside of
just
that,
wait. I
he's pretty good. Outside of all the shit he been fucking up on, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like what? About everybody, bro.
All right, listen, Kyrie and Johnny. Then we'll go to the next matchup in the West.
I just wanted to touch on the question you had earlier regarding like regret traded for KD out of Cleveland. I can kind of see both sides of the coin. I believe and like yeah, they could like now kind of regret trading for that because you essentially because y'all you now with two superstars and no bench, no support cast around them. Like Johnny hit the nail on the head. Chris Paul's off like track record as far as injuries goes is well known. Kevin Durant's like track like so far these past couple years, like he's known to get hurt, not the healthiest. So the
Mhm.
trade pieces like Mikel Bridges and I don't remember 10 guys like that were can still help you win now, able to help you win now. It's I can see why like they'll be going into this offseason. We probably like hold the gun on that one. And at the same time, you're getting a generation down from Kevin Durant. Nobody's going to ask no questions. You traded Mikel Bridges, like nobody ask no questions. But
Okay.
hey, you're mortgaged off your future. And once they, once Kevin Durant decides to keep it, once the star decides to hang it up, like what do you have next to Devin Booker? You don't got nothing. You got nothing.
But that's the risk of trying to be a contending team, bro. You gotta make those moves, bro. When the Kevin Durant becomes available and you want to be a championship team, you gotta make those moves.
Right.
By the
Okay.
way, bro,
I,
I don't mean to cut the pot off, bro. Is Kyrie Mike cutting out for everybody just me?
Yeah, I think Mike's Kyrie. Yeah. So I was
I'm
just I
Your
thought
mic
maybe
was
it's
cutting
just
out
mine,
there,
but I
son.
heard
You
you.
might be
Just
going in and out.
I got you. But it's fine, Kyrie. We heard most
I
of it.
I got one more thing I want to add.
Go ahead. No
I got one more
problem.
thing. I got one more
Go
thing.
ahead, Chris.
So I remember I made this. See, you weren't here. I remember I made this comment right after the Suns lost to the Bucks in the finals, and they just signed Chris Paul to that crazy $120 million extension. I said right then and there that they made no sense for them to give him that much money at that stage of his career. And ever since that man turned 37 against the Pelicans last year, that man has never been the same. He still has 2 years left in that contract. Let's just
He
let
got
that
two
simmer for a
years.
second. Yeah,
2 years. Yeah.
he signed a 4 year deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think the
let
thing
that
is,
sink in.
I think even these playoffs, CP has been he's been good for them, bro. Like just being a secondary ball handler for them, he's been clutch for him, making plays for him, like scoring when he needs to. But the thing
He's
is,
close to
like you might have to trade CP just to add more depth to the team at this point. Like you might just get off that contract
But
just to
Who's
add
gonna
more
take that
pieces.
but
contract? That's crazy.
think about that. Yeah,
They have
exactly.
no
You
picks.
got
Yeah, they have no picks to get off. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
2 years.
they're
So
stuck.
they're trapped with
my
him.
thing is,
They're stuck with him.
we say they're stuck, bro. But we just saw the Lakers get rid of all those. They were in a shitty situation, just like how kind of picture the Suns are in now in
None of
terms of
them
not
was
being able to make
37
moves.
years old.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
And Russell was
but
actually Russell.
we talking about a guy like Russ. Russ was like people were talking about him not being in the league next year, and they were able to get 3 role players from him.
But you gotta think about
Like
that
they
whole
turned
deal
that shit
though.
around.
But you
Yeah,
gotta
I
think
think
about
the
the whole
Suns,
deal.
yeah. Think about the whole
Because
deal.
remember
yeah, and they had the picks
they sent
too.
him
I don't
they
know
sent
what
him
picks
to
Suns have
Utah.
available.
It was a 3-team trade, so everybody benefited from because he went to Utah so they could so they could take his contract. And they were
But
there, and Utah was able to
if
send
you
Conley to.
I'm not sure what their pick situation is now. Obviously, after trading for KD, but they'll have to give up picks to get off CP contract. I mean, it's a tricky situation, but
Who,
there's got to be something to do. You got to get out there and
who,
be aggressive, bro. You have
who's
to be
taking
aggressive. The
Wait,
trade market is trying to happen.
38-year-old contract?
the,
Who's gonna take
uh,
that 30-year-old
only
contract?
thing only thing they could do is waive Chris Paul. That's what
Yeah,
they
they
could do.
could. Or buy out his contract. Either one or the other.
No, he's not buying all his contracts. Not going to do
Bro,
anything
he's
for
a
you, bro.
cone who gets hurt, bro. Ain't nobody taking
That's
that
I mean at
contract.
this point, what's Chris Paul's? So okay, so I'm someone here on the chat said they just need to run it back. I think it was seeing they only played about 8 games. You said so. You think
Yeah,
next
run it
year?
back.
So there's no hope for them this year. Let's just throw that out for this year. But
I'm not
next year
saying
they come
I'm
back.
not saying
They
there's
catch
no
that.
hope at all. It's
Oh,
not
there's
there's
no
no
hope.
hope at all. But like
There's no hope.
it's not a lot of hope. Yeah, it's not a lot of hope. Let's be honest. The team is not constructed right now to win a championship, especially with
Guys,
like all the teams that are in the West right now. They're all deep as hell. You got like Boston deep as hell. Like it's just hard to compete against those teams when you have no depth with the Suns. Like you have to just uh, run it back, bro. Like you
just run
don't
it back
lose this
next year.
year. Yeah, you're not gonna lose this year and be like, oh man, we try, yo. After 1 year and eight
Chris
games
Paul
in the regular
is
season,
39
we're just gonna
next year.
blow it all up.
He turns
CP's still
39
good though.
next year.
He's still a good player.
I don't know, man. Can he play 80,
What you mean, no,
60
he's still
games? Can he play
good.
60 games next season?
Yeah,
That's the real
you just
question.
need to. The main thing you need, and even this is a question, but you just need CP to be healthy for the playoffs, and that's even because he hasn't been healthy for the playoffs. Like
All
after
right.
this got hurt, like you don't need CP to play 60 games. You need him to play in the play. You need him to play 16 games. You need to play them 16 games in
Okay.
the playoffs. You
All
need him
right.
to play in the playoffs. Forget the regular season, bro.
So 60
He
to
can give you
60.
26.
All right.
He can give you 26 games.
But how do you
Whatever,
lower
however
him
many
to
games you
Johnny
need him
said
to
to
a
play,
man
some
who's a
26.
games he needs to
40 year
play.
old?
All right.
No, but I
Listen.
definitely agree with the point. That's
All
the
right.
main point. That's the main thing I was saying earlier. Like Chris Paul was the only shot that they had to make the series interesting. But once again, his injury bug he just can't escape it, man. And I just, as a personal fan, it hurts me. He just can't get a break.
He can't get a break, but we're gonna take a break from this topic. I mean, take a break from this particular matchup. We're gonna slide over to the matchup that hasn't started yet. At the time of this
Colin
recording,
thinks he's.
it'll start. It'll
Colin,
it'll start
All right,
soon.
Colin.
you remember you wrote that, Colin. You wrote
He was
that.
ready. He thought about that, John. He was like, hold on, I got it.
Huh?
That was off the
He was
dome,
waiting
baby.
for it.
Colin is
I was
serious.
off the dome. I was off the dome. I was
Uh,
off the dome. But
Hey,
listen,
Colin.
but listen, the game hasn't started yet, but it starts at 10 o'clock tonight. Listen, Lakers and should have been the Kings, but they let Harrison Barnes take two of the biggest shots of the series, which is madness to me. But 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 we we
you're not
swing.
gonna blame.
Shit.
You're
No,
not gonna
Chris,
blame the Lakers
relax.
on
You be
Harrison
happy that
Barnes.
you got the Nuggets in it. You're lucky right now. You're up 2-0.
Your
Relax,
man
buddy.
they show up.
Relax.
Your man they show up in
Relax,
Game
buddy.
7.
Relax,
Hey,
sir.
hey, time out.
Your
Hey,
Relax, sir.
hey, let
Don't
him
get me
your
a
relax.
sir.
duo
He's not done leading
your
into the
duo ain't
segments.
show up.
Continue.
Sir,
Your
are
duo
you
Back to
done?
the
your
set.
duo didn't show up. Your best duo in the league did
Back
not
to
show
it,
up in
bro.
Game
Back to
7.
Sabonis
it, bro.
showed up. Sabonis didn't show
He
up.
did not.
Darian Fox
Yes.
showed up.
Sabonis
My
had
ticket
Hey,
would have
sir.
hit if he
Sabonis had
showed
more.
up.
Sabonis was leading scorer in Game 7.
Game
My
seven,
ticket
game
would have hit
six
if
Sabonis
he
is
had
not.
showed
22 in
up.
Game 7.
Game 7, Game 7 is not his fault. Ever since he fractured his finger, that hasn't really necessarily been his fault. He's been trying his
He talking
best.
about
Believe
some
it.
He
fractured
played
finger,
good. He
man.
played good in 5 and
You
6,
just
bro. He
said
just
you
was
He
just
bad.
you
played
literally
for
just said
what
in there.
he
You
played
just
game.
said here that Sabonis did not play.
He
You
wasn't
just said
bad
here
game
Sabonis not
7,
playing
bro.
well
That's
in
what I'm
Game 7.
saying.
He was the
Played
He
leading
for a
wasn't
scorer.
bad.
majority. Sabonis has
Sabonis
not
was the
played
leading.
for a majority. You're right.
Sabonis was the leading scorer in Game 7. You said Fox played better
He
than him.
hasn't played
Fox
well the
shot terrible
majority
from the
of the
field.
playoffs, though. The majority of the series, he had Alex Len has been
Fox is great.
outplaying him
Fox is
for a good
great.
certain amount of games.
No, Alex
So,
Len
but
got played
listen,
out the rotation,
listen.
bro. Alex Len was
You
not
know,
bad.
you know
Yeah,
what's,
he
you know
only
what,
came
you know
in
what?
What are
in
you
garbage
talking
time.
about?
No, I'll
But
tell
He
you
only
who.
Alex
came
I'll,
in.
Len,
I'll
He
tell
Alex
you.
only came in
Len, Alex
garbage
Len,
time.
when
He
he
came in in
stepped in,
garbage time.
Alex Len rebound, he defended, and he played his 8, 9,
I'll
10
tell you.
minutes very
I'll
well.
tell you.
Trey
I'll
Lyles was
tell
more
you who's going.
effective to a
No,
certain extent.
hold up,
Right.
hold up. I'll tell you who's play. I'll tell you who's play drop
I
during
know
the series.
Mario don't
Your
hear.
boy Malik.
They put
Your boy
Alex in
Malik
the rest of
Monk.
his
His
damn
play
30.
dropped during the series.
Malik Monk had a couple buckets, and he stepped up when it was time to step up.
His best game. His best game was game one.
Listen,
Malik Monk
man.
was good though, bro. We're not
The
gonna.
Definitely
The
Kings
was.
was
Kings was
still
good. It was a good series, bro.
listen, Chris. But you said all that, but the Kings was still remember before Fox got hurt. If you look at the averages between Curry and Fox, they were really stacked up evenly. Maybe Fox had maybe a point more, a rebound more, but they was really stacked up.
Listen.
But let's not talk about that no more.
So
Let's talk
so
about
so are you? No,
Chris.
hold on, hold
Enjoy
on, hold on.
the
So
Nuggets
no,
up 2 and 0, man.
question.
Relax.
Question.
Stop being
I got a
greedy.
question. So are you?
Relax.
No,
Stop
I
being
got a
greedy.
question. Are
Stop
you?
being
Relax.
greedy.
Relax.
What? He
Now
said I'm
let's
being
go.
greedy, but he was the one praising
Sir,
Fox all year. Now
listen,
I
you
got a
know why
question
he's
for you
talking,
before we
Mark?
talk about
Because
the
he'll never
Lakers.
have an accomplishment like this in his life
I
again.
got a
Okay, I know. As a sports
what?
fan, this is the only accomplishment you'll ever have in this sports
What?
life. It's okay. But we'll let that
Bro, you
slide. So
just cried,
listen, Mark,
bro,
I'm going to
bro,
start with
bro.
you.
It took me 10 years to get MVP, bro.
Chris.
So
Hey,
can I ask you this
hey, hey,
question?
hey, don't bring
Oh
him in.
my.
Oh,
Hey,
my.
Can
You
I
know what?
ask
No,
you?
Sure.
Kyrie.
But
let's
we'll
Can
not
do
I
this
let
ask
off
you
him
this
in.
the air.
question?
That's
No,
Don't
fine.
you
Chris.
We'll
do
do
Then
this
let
that.
me
off
ask you
the
this
air.
question.
Yo, here they go,
Chris,
bro.
let's
He
talk
ain't even
about it, Chris.
started it,
Don't
dog.
Then,
He
all
ain't
right,
start
then
it.
let
started
me
it.
ask you.
Chris,
Then
Chris
let me
ain't
ask.
Chris,
Then
started
let
it
me
yet.
ask you
listen.
this question.
He's
He
been
ain't started
rolling
it.
to it
Started
now.
now. He started it.
Now,
All right,
You
listen.
listen,
Let
know
me
the.
swing
Hold
it.
Yo,
I'm
on,
going to
yo,
Tyler.
swing it to
Tyler,
Mark.
can I
Gridlock,
say
really
Let's
now
go.
started
something?
with
let
the
me
Gridlock era.
listen.
Can I say
Listen.
something?
Listen.
Can I say something?
I have one
Can I say
question.
Listen.
something?
I just have one
Listen.
question. I literally
No,
just have one
I don't.
question. Are
What's
you
the question,
Yeah,
blaming?
sir?
can
Shut
I
up.
say something?
Are you blaming the King? Are you not? So you're telling me you're not gonna blame De'Aaron Fox at all for the Kings losing because he had a fractured finger? Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
Besides game
Oh my
seven, he
lord.
played well. You look at the
He
look.
How?
said
You
besides
gotta
the
How?
look
most
at.
How?
important
We'll
game.
talk about this. We'll talk about this another time, man. Let's get to the
Besides the
Warriors
most important
and
game.
yes, the most important game. You absolutely can't listen. You're right. He stunk it up partially because of his finger, but he didn't.
I'll
No,
tell you
everyone
something.
Oh
else
no,
shot.
I'm
Hold
done
on, hold on,
talking
hold on,
about
hold
it.
on.
I don't
Wait,
want to
All
talk
right,
about
we're
my
not
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
it.
no,
Let's
no,
go
no.
here.
Hold on. I got one
Oh,
more thing to say. One more comment to say because you want to talk about De'Aaron Fox. Let me tell you what he
Chris.
did in Game Five. In Game
Chris.
Five, he had 15 points. He had 15 points through the first half and shot like 6 for 8. He finished the
He
game
didn't
with
play
24
well.
and shot.
I said
Are
that
you gonna
game
blame that shit
seven.
for his
He
finger?
didn't play well.
Are you gonna? I said Game Five, and you're gonna blame Game Five because of his finger?
Listen.
So you're gonna
If
blame
you
every
look at
game he didn't
the
play well
areas,
because of his
they
finger?
stacked up pretty well against
That
each other.
what does
But
that do?
listen,
What does that have to do with
it's
what
fine.
I'm
The
asking you?
Kings lost, sir. I know one of your
Are
teams
you
lost, but you're
blaming?
happy the Nuggets got it. But let's bring it to the next matchup, Chris. Let's bring it back to
This
the
is coming
next
from the man
matchup.
that was praising De'Aaron Fox all year, and then
Warriors.
all of a sudden came another and said something about the Thunder winning in five. But he's talking about me
I still
saying my
got
team
OKC
lost.
in the top
Weren't you the
17
one
this year. That's neither to here or there.
that?
But listen, Mark,
And you
Chris,
don't
I'm
even
gonna beat
believe
you now.
that.
I'm gonna beat you, Chris. All right, now Mark, I'm gonna swing it to you. Who do you
I
have
should
winning
beat you.
game one of the matchup? Who do you have
Game
between the
one.
Warriors and the Lakers? Who do you have win the series second too? And then we'll start from there.
They played in the Chase Center, correct?
I believe so.
Right?
I believe the first game is no. I think it's that Lakers.
Yeah.
Is that the Lakers?
Um.
Warriors
Uh,
got home court advantage.
All right. So
Warriors.
yeah, they're at the Chase. I'll probably take. I don't know who's taking game one. I'll probably just say the Warriors.
Mm.
But I got the Lakers winning the series. I'm not.
Lakers.
I'm not buying Kevon Looney to average 15 rebounds in this series.
Nah.
I'm not. I don't know what Klay Thompson is capable of. It might sound crazy, but I don't know what Klay Thompson is capable of.
Mm.
If he's not dropping 30, he ain't
Mm.
doing nothing else. He's just wasting possessions. He ain't about to go get 6 assists. He ain't about to go get 8 rebounds. He not about to. He not going to strap the best defender. He just going to waste possessions. So I don't know
Mm.
what he's gonna do. Jordan Poole didn't look too good last series, so I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table. I know what Curry's gonna do, and I just don't feel like even if Clay and Jordan Poole are okay, I don't think Curry can beat this team by himself. They're just too well put together. They're they play as a collective unit. Last series, they had a different leading score in each game. That's just different. So I'm not buying the total rebound. I'm not buying 10 more offensive possessions off rebounds. The Lakers got too many bodies for that.
Right.
I don't. Clay may go off 1 or 2 games. I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I could see it going to 7, but I
Mm.
don't. I don't know if Clay and Poole can hold up a whole series. They can definitely get you. They can definitely play their role for 1 to 2 games, but I don't know if they hold up the whole series. So I'm gonna just take the Lakers.
So you take the Lakers in 6, Lakers in 7.
Lakers in 7.
Lakers in 7. Johnny, I'm gonna swing to you and then Kyrie. Johnny, who do you have winning game one tonight, and then who do you have winning the series overall? How many games? Tell me why.
I like the Lakers tonight,
Mm.
but 7 games for me, and I take the Warriors in 7. But I like the Lakers tonight. I take the Warriors in 7 overall. I feel like the way that they can adjust to their opponent in like the matchup adjustments that they do it they do it very very well. Not just because of the not I mean Steve Kerr. I guess eventually you have to at some point give Steve Kerr some coaching props, but more so they got coaching on the floor too.
He's amazing.
Draymond, Steph, they got a bunch of veterans on the floor. Like I think even with the unders, even if Kevon Looney isn't as effective, obviously against Anthony Davis. I think they find a way. I think they take their lumps tonight, though. This is yeah, they take their lumps tonight. They'll probably learn from it. I do got LeBron taking this because in my head, I think LeBron is low key gunning to get Steph out of here because I don't know, has he ever they both got 4 rings, right? In my personal opinion, I'm looking forward to the battle of legacies with this matchup. And
Okay.
that's the reason I say the Lakers win tonight because I feel like Brian is really wants to make a statement. He really wants to show that he can beat Curry consistently, I guess. And anytime you mention it, when it counts, especially more than once. But at the 2016 showing, obviously. But other than that, he wants they got the same amount of rings. So
For sure.
LeBron for his legacy is going to want to make a statement tonight. That I'm interested in seeing how this goes, but I'm picking the Warriors in the long run in 7 because I think of the pedigree, the experience, and the moxie that team has when it comes to no matter who they're facing. They're like water, bro. They just adjust. It's going to
Mm.
be a dogfight though. Now, obviously, this is barring AD getting hurt and Draymond getting suspended, or like like with the way that this thing goes, but. You know what I'm saying? If the West swallowed the whistle and let them play, this would be a good series.
All right, and I don't disagree with you in terms of it being a battle of legacies. We talked about this a little bit before the air, and I definitely agree with you. Just from that standpoint, that makes the matchup even more exciting. But Kyrie, I want to swing it to you. I definitely want to get your thoughts on this. In terms of, I talked about this before with Johnny. I said more so this was in terms of impact, and seeing had mentioned this before in the previous episode. Having LeBron as a second option, it definitely doesn't hurt. It only helps. So I really focus on more on AD in terms of Steph Curry, AD versus Steph Curry. Just in terms of impact, who's the impact guy for the team, respectfully. So, what's your thoughts on that? Who do you have winning game one, and who do you have winning overall the series?
For sure. First of all, y'all can hear me good?
All right, perfectly fine, Kyrie.
All
Perfect.
right, cool.
Yeah, you
One,
good, bro. You
to answer
good.
your first question, Colin, as far as who's going to be the swing factor player of this series, I definitely think it's
Talk
going
to
to
me.
be AD. And Johnny took the words right out of my mouth. I think this series weighs on his heavily on his health. And I say that because I personally think the Lakers win. I'll get to that later. But
Okay.
I think it's going to be AD because Mar pointed out the Kevin Looney matchup. Kevin Looney was only able to really eat last series because one, the Sacramento Kings outside of Alex Len don't really have, and Sabonis really don't really have like a plethora of bigs, or like aren't really known as a rebounding team really. And
That's
what the
true.
Warriors did was they limited a lot of their dribble handoffs and neutralized Demonis Sabonis in the middle of the floor and made him take a lot of jump shots, what led to
Mm.
long rebounds and which led to a lot because that's not Demonis Sabonis' game, and it
That's
led
true.
to a lot of rebounds. Kevin Looney was able to eat off that because he's staggering in the paint. He don't got to contest on that. And I don't think you got to. He's not going to be able to do that in this series because Anthony Davis is able to stretch it out, but he's just such a force in the paint as a scorer himself, able to get his own buckets in the post and in the midi. He's just too elite, but it does weigh on his health. And barring he's healthy, because Anthony Davis can be hurt and still play. He just won't be himself. And even then, the Lakers aren't themselves. When if 80's at 80%, the Lakers is at like 65%. Like that's just how they
Oh,
that's just how they whole morale goes down. I don't know what it is,
got you.
but So I definitely think that's the swing factor. I think AD's the swing factor in that series. As far as
Mm,
who wins tonight, I think the Lakers do go into the Chase Center and steal game one. It's going to be
mm,
a dogfight, like Johnny said, because the Warriors are so good at making adjustments with that core. Um, their chemistry that they have, they're just so good at making adjustments and making their weaknesses their strengths. And so it's going to be a dogfight. But I think LeBron's going to have a good game against Wiggins. Them coming off a 7 game series that went back and forth like it did in Sacramento is definitely got to be taking a toll on them. So I think the Lakers come in here. I think they still game one. I think Anthony Davis has a good game.
all
But
right.
overall, I got the Lakers winning just because they're like longevity wise. I don't see Clay holding up throughout this series being super
Mm.
effective. Jordan Poole, he's so wishy washy. Jordan Poole can give you like 41 now. You think he the next coming to I don't know who, name him.
Ah,
But then the next night he looked like he belonged in the G League again. Like he all types of crazy turnovers. He's shooting like in the second quarter, like they down 3 or 5 seconds out, like 5 seconds
oh,
left. Like his
let's.
game is just so erratic sometimes, and
Oh,
he's. I think the whole thing with him and Draymond this off season
it's just
made
been
it hasn't been like super like publicized or anything like throughout like
no.
them two like throughout
But
games
you
or
see,
anything, but I think
but
it's
you
made
see
it a
within
little
the
hard.
game.
I see it within the game because it's harder to real pull in when he's doing those like making those types of mistakes and he's not really playing within the offense because he's a one-on-one player. He could bake whoever one-on-one, but that's not the Warriors game plan. They game plan is not for anybody to go one-on-one unless you name Kevin Durant for real or Stephen Curry.
That's fair.
But yeah, but overall, I think the Lakers take it in 6 or 7 games.
Okay. All right. Seeing before I swing it to Chris. Seeing, definitely want to get your thoughts. Who's coming in the game one and getting this W, and who do you have winning throughout the series in the long term? And tell me why.
Man, this should be a great series. It's tough for me to gauge who's gonna win because I feel like both teams are so like they have their highs and they have their lows. Like the
Right.
Lakers, they can blow you out one game and then they look terrible the next game. Or like the Warriors, it can be the same thing. It's like I feel like they have so many highs and lows. The X factor is obviously AD. If AD's playing like MVP, AD, and fuck health, bro. I'm tired of people talking about the health, bro. AD's healthy. He got to be consistent. Forget the health, bro. One
You
game
say
he's
that now
dropping
till he cracks his
31.
elbow,
That's cool, bro. I'm saying one game
or
he's dropping
tell
31. The
Draymond
next
Batista
game he's
line him
dropping
or something.
12.
Ah, yeah.
Dude, I'm tired. Like AD needs to. If AD's consistently that MVP top five level player, I think Lakers win this. I think Lakers win the series for sure. Because I think the Lakers are probably like one of the best teams in the league when AD's playing like that. And
Sure.
then and with the Lakers, if the role players can continue to play how they've been playing, like specifically like D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, those guys, Dennis, if they can keep it up, it's gonna be tough for Golden State. But I think what Golden State has is the best player in the world in Stephen Curry, and
Best player in
that
the world
dude,
right now.
the best player in the world right now, bro. I don't see
Okay.
anybody. I don't see
See, you know what?
who's better
Before
than
that
Steph right
season
now,
comes, I'm
bro.
gonna
I
ask you
don't
a
see it better
follow up
than him.
question. I'm gonna ask you a
Wait,
follow up
wait, wait,
question.
wait, wait, wait.
What?
Hold on.
What?
See. So wait, hold on. Wait. So last episode you were saying a healthy Kawhi
I
the
think
best player
Kawhi.
in the
No,
world.
I
So
do. I still believe that. I think Kawhi's healthy. He is, but
all right,
he's always hurt. He's always hurt. He's always
all right.
hurt.
I was just
So
seeing if you
because of that, Steph is
so
the best player in the world,
I was just saying.
and
I'm
that
just
means a
I
lot.
see
That
Mars
means a
shaking his
lot.
head. He like yeah.
I want to ask C so bad, but C, give me your who wins the matchup, and then before I swing it to Chris, I just want
Mar.
to ask you a follow up question. Go ahead. I
Man,
just want to ask C a follow up question. Go ahead, C. Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna go.
Get it.
I'm gonna go Warriors 7
Mar, hold up. Warriors is seven. All
because
right.
another part they made is that Steve Kerr, he adjusts so well in every series, and
That's
he's
true.
gonna find a way to neutralize guys. But I think the Lakers just have so many guys. He could probably just be like, it could just be too much maybe. But I think Darvin Ham is an
Think that.
idiot. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I think he's a lot of talent. Not that he's not a good coach, but I think Darvin Ham is an idiot at times. Like they call him what Darvin scam or something like that. Like he has a lot of blunders himself. And I think against Steve Kerr is gonna adjust every game. Like he's gonna have something new for him every game defensively, offensively. Like Steve Kerr's gonna come with something different every time, and Ham needs to be on top of that. But the thing with Ham is he got LeBron, and LeBron gonna be on top of that. So like
Okay.
it should be a good series, bro. Honestly, like it can go either way. I'm gonna just say Warriors in seven.
Wait, well, man, I just want to let Chris. This question is gonna be so like argumentative. So I'm gonna let Chris go first. Chris, who do you have winning Game 1 tonight, and then who do you have winning the series overall, and how and why? Then I gotta swing it back to Steve. Go ahead.
All right. So if I remember when I did my first round predictions with the Warriors and Kings, I did say that it was going to go 7, and I said every home team was going to win until Game 7. Now, fortunately, I was almost right. I didn't think that the Warriors would win Game 5 and then the Kings would come back and win Game 6. But I say all that to say that in this series between the Lakers and Warriors, I can see an away team still in a home game. And since I don't trust the Warriors still on the road, even though they won 2 road games last series against the Kings, I feel like that was due to just inexperience, especially in that Game 7. I mean, the Warriors have been there before; they've done that. Kings ain't never been there before, so they might have had all the energy in the world, but they were probably also nervous as hell.
Right.
So because of that, when it comes to tonight's game, I'm going to give it to the Warriors. I think the Warriors will win Game 1 tonight, but I ultimately do think that the Lakers are going to win at 6. I say that
Mm,
because a lot of the reasons that y'all said, for one, y'all know I'm a big Jordan Poole fan, but since this playoffs started, he has played his game's been trash for the most part.
oof.
He's been a
My
very
bad, Chris. I don't mean to cut you off. I feel
uh,
like Poole was obviously terrible for. I feel like he do for a big game. Though. I feel like
I
he gonna have his up and downs, but I feel like Poole he do for a big game, bro. I truly
I
believe
thought
that.
it
I think
was
he do for a
I
big
thought
game.
it was due last I thought it was due last game for a big game. The most
That's
points he
true.
had in the
Yeah,
last series was like
he was trash the
18.
whole series. He was bad the
Right
whole
Right.
now,
series.
again, I want to see Poole. Now I'm a fan of Poole. I want to see Poole play well, but as of right now, he has not shown me that.
No, yeah.
I agree. Klay Thompson, he he's very inconsistent. He's been very consistent with his shooting. Draymond Green, Draymond Green's not gonna have another 20-point game like he did last series against this team. He's gonna go against too many big bodies like AD, Hachimura. If they decide to, Jared Vanderbilt's another one. That's the only big one. I agree with y'all when y'all say AD has to be the best player in the series. He has to be. No doubt, Steph Curry is going to obviously be the best player for the Warriors, but if AD is not the best player for the Lakers,
Right.
they're in for a world of trouble. Because there's no way he should be cooking either Kevin Looney or Draymond Green. Whoever's on him,
I'm
AD
about to
needs to
say he better
average.
not let Draymond take his lunch money. That's
Or
all. That's all I'm
His
AD
saying.
lunch
needs
money.
to average 25 in this
Take his lunch
series at
money.
least. AD should
Because
average
it
25
might
in
be
this
one game or
series.
two where Draymond just takes AD's lunch money and it just affects his morale for the rest of the series.
And
And bro,
that's
I'm
Mm.
not
I
gonna
know
lie. I
where
and
his
feel like
mind
Hold that,
is.
hold
I
that
know where
thought, Johnny.
AD's
Hold that
mind
thought.
is as a
I'm not
player.
gonna. I think going in, and I mean I don't know. I'm not in their locker room or anything like that. But I feel like going in game one, I feel like they're gonna let AD shoot because his shot hasn't been that good over the last few years. Like he's been like he'll have his games where it's falling, but I feel like they gonna live with AD shooting to keep him out the paint. Like I feel like that's gonna be their main game plan is to keep AD outside of the paint.
See, hold
and that
on.
may
Just let Chris
and,
finish. Let
and
Chris
that
finish. I'll let you guys go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
and that may be true, but AD as a star player has to know how to pick his spots, and he has to, and at times will needs to take over this game because there are going to be times in this series where Steph Curry is going to take over the game, and you need to be able to match that. He's obviously not going to match that with threes, so he's got to match that with just paint presence. Average 5 blocks like he did last series. Average 10 rebounds, and, when you got a small defender on you, go to work. Barbecue chicken alert. He needs to be the best player in the series. LeBron's going to do what LeBron does. I don't really expect. I mean, I don't expect much production out of Reeves and Hachimura. But if the Lakers are going to win this series, they need AD to be the best player on that floor. If not, then Warriors could win in 7. But I'm going to say Lakers in 6 because I feel like when it comes to just the defense that the Lakers have been playing as of lately, I mean, the Warriors are not going against a defense like that. Now, albeit Steve Kerr knows how to adjust, and we've seen that time and time again. But at the same time, they're going to throw a lot of They're going to be throwing a lot of bodies. I feel like at Steph Curry, I feel like D'Angelo Russell's not going to be guarding him. I feel like they might put Austin Reeves on him because he's a little bit taller. Then Malik Beasley might get a lot more time this series because he's a better defender than Reeves. They might put Vanderbilt on him for a little bit. Who knows? Because he's just lengthy. He can guard positions 1 through 4. So Steph Curry's going to see a lot of bodies, and I don't know if he's going to be able to trust his teammates to consistently go off like he's been going. Not, like, and by consistently going off, I mean just consistently getting 20 to 25. So
Okay.
because of that, I'm going to say the Lakers in 6. But AD needs to be the
Lakers.
player in the court.
All right. Okay, very good analysis, Chris. Don't disagree with you. Mara, hold your train of thought, 'cause I know you got a lot to say, but I want to bring it to Seam. Now, Seam, I told you, and the spotlight's gonna be on you. You said Steph Curry right now is the best player as of right now. So I just want to ask you right now. You looked at his 50-point performance, Game 7. Where does Steph Curry catapult in terms of the point guard list of all time? Is he over Magic Johnson? Is he the best point guard of all time? Is he up there for you? Since he's the
Yeah, to
best player right
me,
now, is
I
he the
mean,
best
bro,
point
I think to me, but obviously I didn't witness Magic, so I'm gonna have a little bit of bias towards Steph. But bro, fuck the point guard list. I think if Steph gets a ring this year, I see
guard? He's top
people in the comments. Not that I agree. I'm not saying I agree with it because I, I
10.
don't. I don't agree with it. But I see
Mhm.
people in the comments talking about if Steph gets his fifth ring, he gonna pass LeBron and be number two all time. People like talking about this. I was in the group chat with people talking about this too.
It's
It was
not
like
crazy.
I don't
It's
think
not
it's too
crazy.
crazy,
It's not
whatever.
crazy.
Ah.
It's not
I don't
crazy.
know. It's because LeBron, man. I
It's
think
not
people are.
crazy.
I think people are. I think
Hold
people are
wait.
like. I think.
Hold on, Mark. Wait,
He
Mark.
reinvented the
No, Johnny,
game.
Johnny, Johnny. Hold on, Johnny. Hold on. Let's see
I'll
finish.
let him finish.
I'm gonna
I
let
think it's
Mark.
kind of
I
wild.
gotta let
I
Mark.
think
Then
people
I'm gonna
are.
let Johnny
I'm not gonna
talk.
lie. I think
My
people
God,
are like. I
Lebanon.
think because. I think people are taking for granted what LeBron did in the 2010s. Like LeBron was. I'm not. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that
This
far.
is Seam
But like,
saying this.
and I'm
Like,
y'all know I don't. I'm not a LeBron
this
guy.
is
I'm not a
Seam.
LeBron guy. But yeah, people. I think people are taking for granted what LeBron did in the 2010s. Like he was dominant.
I
But
hope. I
the fact that
hope
people are
I
even
didn't hear
saying
that
that, bro,
correctly.
if Steph,
But
what this does for Steph, bro, I feel like Steph forget the best point guard. Steph is probably a top five player all time at this point, especially if he gets a ring.
What the fuck?
Especially if he gets a
like, you know
ring. I
what?
mean,
I
what are you
feel like
talking about?
you know what?
Especially if he
This
get a fifth
conversation
ring,
about to really
five,
turn. You know what,
five.
guys? Wait, hold on. Man, fact,
Talking
Mark,
about,
Johnny, man, fact. Let's have this conversation for the next episode. I want to stick it to the playoffs. This is about to go way all the way left. I know
I'm
Mark got a
saying,
lot to say.
man,
I
Yeah, I
know.
that's up
do.
there,
We're
bro.
definitely gonna go off
Five
topic.
Hold
rings,
it in, Mark.
five,
Because actually,
five
this is the topic
rings.
for next
No,
episode.
no
Steam
crazy
don't sound.
superstar
Steam don't sound
teammates,
weird.
bro.
And Johnny doesn't.
Lebanon
Johnny
He
approves
James.
it
just talking.
100%. Wait, hold on, hold
He
on,
just
Johnny. So
talking.
you
Let me
hold on.
hear him.
So I'm gonna ask one
Yeah,
by
we
one. We're
gotta
gonna
give
say
Steph his
this
credit,
topic.
bro. Steph is up there, bro. He easily
See,
top 10 all time, easily.
see, hold that
And you can
thought. We're gonna
argue even
say
top
this
five.
topic. We're gonna say this topic for next episode. I'm gonna just ask one answer only. Kyrie, do you believe Steph Curry, if he wins, is a top five player of all time if he gets his fifth ring? Yes or no?
I definitely, yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Mar. I-
No,
No.
no,
Chris.
no,
Chris.
no way
Chris.
in
Yes.
hell. No way
No
in
way.
hell.
No.
No,
No.
no, no,
No. All right.
no.
Five
We're
of
gonna
them?
save it. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. See. We're gonna save this topic for next episode. This is such a great topic, but this is gonna go off the rails.
It's
Let's
not,
go.
but okay.
No, it definitely will because
Before
It
you end
will
it,
be for
Khaled, I'm
this
not even
let,
going.
show.
Let me, bro. I just want to give the Warriors some credit too, because like,
all right.
bro, they haven't lost in the Western Conference playoffs since 2014.
That's
Don't
crazy when you
take it
think
for
about it.
granted, bro. Don't take this,
That's
bro.
crazy.
Steph has been crazy, dog. When we talk
Wait,
about players, we talk
Oh
about
my
players
Mar,
lord.
this
hold
good.
on.
You
Wow.
build a
Hold
decade
on.
long
Hold
dynasty,
See,
on,
that's the
bro.
Mar.
difference.
How many
That's the
players have
difference.
you built a
Wait, Mar, hold
decade
on.
long dynasty around, bro?
No, that's the difference right there, though. You said the
How many
Warriors
players have
haven't
you?
been knocked out. Lebanon James hasn't been knocked out. Those
LeBron,
are
Lebanon.
LeBron.
two.
That's why. That's what I mean. That's why I have LeBron
One
too. I have
player
LeBron
to a
too. I have LeBron
franchise.
too. I have LeBron too.
One
But I'm
player
saying
to a franchise.
I'm not comparing
Come
Steph to
on, bro.
LeBron. I'm saying Steph for top
You're not
five,
about to
bro.
knock down my
He
man
built
Lebanon
it,
for no fucking Steph
bro. I'm
Curry.
not talking about LeBron, bro. I'm not talking about
No,
LeBron. I
No,
said
Johnny,
I
no,
know
LeBron
what
John,
you're
too.
no,
saying.
hold on, hold
Bro,
on.
I know what you're saying, bro.
I said
But
that.
I'm just,
No,
I,
Johnny said,
The way
no,
we talk
Johnny
just
about
said
LeBron,
some
no,
emotion,
wild
bro.
about
LeBron,
that.
LeBron for a
Hold
decade
on.
was like a dynasty in himself, bro. They built a dynasty around Steph for a decade, bro. They've been contenders for a decade.
But
Haven't
KD
lost in the
was a
West.
factor
LeBron's
for
Lebanon's
two
been
of
a
those
factor
KD
years.
since
was
he
there,
was
but Steph got two
born.
without him.
Like,
Steph
He
bro,
got
did
two
get two
without him.
Lebanon,
about it. That's
He can
true.
get a third
Lebanon,
without him this
like,
year.
Can he get a
The
third?
only
bro,
thing,
You
no,
think
the,
so?
That
the, the
that
definitely
only
get a
shit
third.
kills
Why
me.
the
can't
only
he?
thing
Okay.
I'll agree with is
Wait, hold
yes,
on.
he came up
Johnny,
under
let
less
Johnny talk.
pressure. That's it. The only thing I will say is yes. I mean, the only thing I will say with y'all, I'm not trying to advocate, just analyzing. But yeah, Steph did come up under less pressure than Brian. So yeah, like Brian. he
I'm
had
not
to
even
go through
comparing Steph to
more.
LeBron, bro. I'm being honest. I'm
Respectfully,
not.
yeah, but at the end of the day, yes, and what Steam's saying is not benign. It's not crazy.
Now,
I have not seen another guard that has
You,
changed the game
Mark,
other than AI since
wait,
Steph.
hold
The
on, see,
impact that
Mark,
he's
Mark,
having
hold
on
on,
the
see,
game.
see.
Brian, let me ask Mark something though, Colin, before
All
you
right, go ahead.
you think if Steph gets his fifth ring, you don't think he has a case to be top five all time? Not a
Camera
case
off.
at all. You
I'll
think there's an
listen.
argument?
I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it, but I don't agree with it because I just
Okay, that's fine.
I value
All right.
rings different than everybody else. So
Well, you know,
I would listen to the explanation and then just strongly
Okay.
agree.
so, Scene, let me ask you this, and we got to move on to the next matchup. So, Scene, let me ask you this. We can say Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. That's not a debate. We could say, some will argue, the best point guard. Some would say he's right behind Magic, depending on who you
They won
ask.
they one B. Whoever you have ahead, they won they one B. They're in the
When
category
they
of
won.
one.
I'll go with that. I'll go
All
with
That's
right,
what
that.
you
that's
They
what
in
that's
the
what I
they in the
always
league of
say.
their own. Category
I
of
right.
always
You
one.
say
can
they won
throw
they one big.
right. So and you can put it like that too. Some people would say one or the other. But now you're saying that Steph Curry won this ring, he shoots up into that top 5 player of all time. I think maybe top
Bro,
10. You finally shoots himself up there.
but
Top
my thing is,
five, man.
there's
That's hard.
discussion. People say he might be top three. That's what I'm
That's
saying. I'm
great.
not saying I agree
But
with
you
it.
know
I'm not
what?
saying I agree
Wait,
with it.
wait,
I'm not
Mark,
saying
hold
I
on.
agree with it. But
Wait,
I'm
see.
just saying this is the discussion people are talking about with Stephen Curry at this
Top
point. That's the
three?
legacy to his
This is
game.
crazy. But you know what, Chris?
I'm not
Hold on.
even saying I agree with it, bro. I'm just saying this is to the point we're getting when we're talking about Stephen Curry's name, bro. We're talking about all time great shit right here. Like we don't
Okay,
take it for
listen, you know
granted,
what?
He
bro.
got
Listen,
one
guys,
finals
guys,
MVP.
Take it
hold
for
on.
granted. He should have
All
two. He
time
should have two.
greatest.
He
Great
should
was
have
my
two.
Listen,
man.
guys, this topic will definitely be used for next episode. We got to get to the next matchup, but I love this topic.
Hold
I'm
up.
sure fans.
He said you should
Hold
have.
on,
He
Chris.
said you should have two. Who's going to the second one?
I
Uh,
thought he should have won the one Iggy won, but I mean Iggy was cool.
LeBron should have won it next.
Oh
No,
my
LeBron should have won it.
no. We're going to let it rock.
oh
We're going to
my
let it
If
rock.
Jerry
god.
if
Listen,
Jerry
Chris,
West
I'm
can
going
win
to
a
give
finals
everybody right
MVP
now.
without winning the series, so can
Oh
LeBron. I'm
my
not hearing that.
god.
Wait, all right, guys. All right, all right, we got to get to the next I said next episode, next matchup. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to the East now. All right, we spent enough time in the West. We got to go all the way down to the East. I'm going to the meet in well, actually, let's start with the Knicks and the Heat because they are currently playing right now. Jimmy Butler is out for game 2. Right now, as we speak, at the time of this recording, Heat is up by 173-72. Listen to me, man. This matchup, no one had the Heat even going this far. Kyrie, shout out to your Knicks, man. Look at you, ecstatic as ever. Talk to me, Kyrie.
Watching
I'm
the
a.
game right now.
I'm watching. I know. I see
I'm not
folks. So that's
ecstatic.
what
I am
I.
not ecstatic.
But listen, I'm gonna swing it
Not
to you first. The spotlight's on you. Talk to me, man. Who do you have winning this series? Who do you have winning tonight as we're recording? And why?
well, tonight we winning that and we taking it back to Miami 1-1. And like I said last episode, we winning it in six. Um, I ain't gonna hold you. We fumbled it last game. We
We fumbled.
fumbled it, bro. You can't shoot 7 for 30 something from three
That's true.
and expect to win. But we had them in the first half. I'll give us that. We had them in the first half. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly felt like Miami didn't want to be there in the first half. Like just the way they was playing their body language, it looked like they didn't want to be there. But Jimmy Butler woke up before he turned his ankle badly, which led to him being out tonight. He turned up. He ended up with 25 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's defense was just suffocating, and they moved the ball. They just did everything the right way, and they ended up beating us. Um, and I'll go ahead and say us missing not having Julius Randle, even though he's been terrible numbers wise in this playoff. He is playing banged up, but that doesn't excuse him. He's been playing terrible. We missed him. We missed him that game because we had periods where we couldn't really create shots. RJ Barrett, who had it going for the most part throughout the game, couldn't really create his own shot. Jalen Brunson, we couldn't really rely on him. He hurt his ankle at some point during that game, so we definitely missed Julius Randle. But we have him back tonight. We got Jalen Brunson playing tonight, even though there's some speculation whether or not he will play with his banged up ankle. And this game is like I just said, I'm not ecstatic. This game has been worrying me. Like the first quarter, the Heat could not miss a 3-pointer. Could not miss a three. And their defense as a cohesive unit, like playing in that zone, is just so suffocating. And a guy like Julius Randle, who needs time to operate, who needs like space to operate, that's just like that's just kryptonite right there. Because once guy like a second guy comes over, he starts dribbling too much and he's making stupid pass or it's a dumb shot. He's been a little bit better with it this game, his first game back. But we just need guys like RJ to keep stepping up. We need Josh Hart to keep stepping up with Jimmy Butler out. He doesn't
Five
have,
three so far. What a game RJ Barrett is playing, and he's making me
Mhm.
eat my words for him. I'm
Bro.
surprised right now.
He
But
must
what did
have
I
heard
tell
me.
you, Kyrie? But what did I tell you, Kyrie? That's how y'all play so dangerously. Right now,
Yeah.
y'all shooting 41% from three, y'all 43% from the field, which is why y'all in it. Y'all took the
Hmm.
shots last game, like you said. But when they don't
Right.
drop, it's just that's why I'm saying like I be rooting. I love I respect the Knicks. But like I
Hmm.
said, y'all just play so dangerous. It's a
No,
heartbreak as a
you,
Knicks
you,
fan. That's why Spike got
yo,
so much hair.
bro, I watch it. I watch it for 40+ games a year, bro. Like like trust me,
So this,
I know, I
here we
see
go
it,
again, bro. Another
and
hot, but it's looking like another hot Knicks meet, a hot Knicks night. Like y'all going hot tonight, so you should be all
yeah.
right, bro. Y'all kind of all right right now so far. Y'all kind of all right. This
Yeah,
ain't one of
but
y'all cold nights.
you 100% right though, because it does worry me. Our streakiness does worry me throughout the season. I mean, throughout this series, because we can't afford to have games like Game One, especially in Miami. Even though they home court to us, not really a home court because half of it be Knicks fans anyway. But we can't afford to go in a crib and shoot like 20% from three and just not have a good shooting night because I assume Jimmy Butler's gonna be back next game. I assume they role players like the Martin twins keep stepping up. I assume Kyle Lowry keeps stepping up. Bam Adebayo's been holding his own
Yeah,
as a big
Caleb
man out
Martin,
there.
Kyle Lowry, the others. Duncan Robinson got two
Yeah.
threes, but never mind. Shoot or shoot. That was for you. That was for
Go ahead, Johnny. Hold
what's the
on.
Kendrick.
Just let Kyrie finish. Kyrie's almost done. Kyrie's almost done. Go ahead,
But
Kyrie.
yeah, like I'm saying, I'm not down on Miami whatsoever. They definitely got the team and the assets to knock us out and to really beat up on us. But
Absolutely.
I think we got it tonight. I think we go into Miami with a clear slate,
Mm.
even after this game if we when we do win and we have a better game plan and we have a clear mind whether or not Jimmy Butler is somebody, we have a set game plan, we have a set mindset like yo, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna take some on Miami and we're gonna close this out.
All right, Johnny, swing to you. Then I swing to Chris and then Scene. Go ahead, Johnny. Who do you have winning this particular matchup tonight? Who do you have winning, and why do you have them winning the series overall?
Tonight's a toss up. Like I said, it's fun. It's fun to watch New York when they're making shots, like when they're hot. Basically sustainable. Because at the end of the day, they can run with anybody offensively. And but the thing is, I think I picked Miami in the long run because I think this is gonna go down to like two concepts basically just clashing with each other. A team that's offensively hot and a team that relies on their defense, and they're kind of like they get hot when they can, as far as the Miami Heat is concerned. And I've made, but to boot, it's these injuries, bro. It's the injuries with the Knicks. That's the thing that's making me like, I don't know if Julius Randle is gonna be sustainable in the long run. I don't know what happened at Jalen Brunson's foot or his ankle or when that happened, but he's got 18 so far, I think. So he seems to be playing okay on it. But in addition to like the fact that I like the Heat coaching and how they're like gelled better, and look at the dogfights they came out of. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if the tables flip. But that depends on how streaky the Knicks is. I just trust the Heat just a slight bit better tonight. But tonight, as far as who takes it tonight, I wouldn't be surprised
Mm-hmm.
if the Knicks split. I would actually reach towards the Knicks because I feel like they have to win this game. Jimmy's not playing; they
Yeah.
have to split going to South Beach, and so I would choose the Knicks tonight so far. And on top of that, they're shooting good. So when they do that, they normally win games.
Right. All right, Johnny. I like your analysis. The analysis, the advocate. What was the line again, Johnny? Hit the line one more time for you. Swing it to Chris. What's the line? What's the line? I'm slipping.
Not an advocate, not an advocate, just
Not
an
an advocate,
analyst.
just an analyst. Love it. Let's get it, Chris. I just want to get your take on this, man. Who do you got winning tonight? Who do you got winning the series, and why do you have them winning? How many games?
Well, the Knicks better win tonight because Jimmy Butler not playing. So if they
Next.
lose tonight, they lose in the series. I'm sorry, they can't go
Wow.
down 0-2 going back to Miami. They can't do that to themselves.
Mm. Kyrie.
No,
I don't
what
think
he
we
know?
I think no, we don't lose the series. We don't lose the
He
series.
said he know.
No.
Yeah.
Because like I
No,
said, the Heat no have no real home court advantage over us. I'm not afraid to go to Miami. Half of it be Knicks fans.
I ain't scared of Miami.
I'm not.
All right, look, Chris.
Look at what they even
Yeah.
got one tonight because Jimmy Butler not playing. He come back game three, he in for water trouble. Now
Mm,
anyway, even though I got the next one tonight, depending, I gotta say, depending on the health of Jimmy Butler, I gotta go with the Heat in seven. And I'm only saying that because I know Seam not so long ago said Steph Curry's the best player in the world. There ain't nobody better than playoff Jimmy, and I'm sorry to say that's true. Ain't nobody better than playoff Jimmy. Just the way
wait,
he just turns up. I just have not seen a superstar just turn it up. Or I can't even say superstar. A player like him just turn it up another notch almost instantly in the playoffs. Now, yes, we talked about this before and how we had a bad playoff series against the Bucks last year. But ever since he lost to the Hawks in that playing, this man looks like he's on a revenge tour to try to get a ring.
mm.
Like I did not expect him to go off for 56 in Miami and then go to Milwaukee and put up a 40 piece to knock them out of the playoffs. I did not expect Jimmy Butler, like Kyrie said, going crazy in game one before he got hurt, but kind of helped, but already kind of got his team the lead they needed so they could be able to win. Now, yes, he's out tonight, but it's just the fact that for some reason Jimmy Butler just knows how to raise the game to another level. And while the Knicks do have a lot of defense, while the Knicks have a lot of bodies they can throw Jimmy Butler, when Jimmy Butler gets in the zone, the only person that get him out that zone is Jimmy Butler. That's it. And if you and that basically me, that's me saying you can't get him out of zone. I feel like he's gonna be a difference maker. Yes, Jalen Brunson. I feel like is going to be the X factor due to the fact that, like I said, he's that clutch player that the Knicks have. The ball's in his hands down the stretch. Whether he takes a shot or pass it, they give him the ball and say, "Take us there. You got to do what you got to do." And I'm not saying that Brunson can't match bucket for bucket and I'm sorry, let me say bucket for bucket down the stretch in a clutch game, in a close game. But I just feel like Jimmy Butler just knows how to will himself and his team to victory. So I'm going to take the Heat. I want to say in seven because I feel like the Knicks are gonna put up a fight. If I feel like they win tonight, the series is tied, and maybe they can even it up 2-2 in Miami, depending on the health of Jimmy Butler again. But if Jimmy Butler comes back and he plays as effective as he has been playing, he's
Hmm.
not gonna let the Heat lose the series.
Great analysis, scene. I mean, Chris, great analysis. Scene. Well, I said your name early. I'm explaining to you. Spotlights on you, and just a little update during the recording. Right now, the Heat is up 77-76, entering the fourth quarter right now. So that's just an update. But scene, go ahead. Give me who do you have winning this matchup tonight, series, and how
Well,
many games and overall.
first of all, Chris, you said Miami don't got home court advantage. You must have not seen them first round because them fans was going insane, insane.
Yeah,
It was looking like,
That's
Miami.
not against New
I,
York though.
huh?
That's not against New York though.
I ain't gonna lie.
Well,
New York
Ain't no
listen,
fans
Milwaukee
is
ain't no
crazy.
Milwaukee fans. Milwaukee fans don't travel nowhere.
bro,
What do
Miami
you think
has
Milwaukee
fans,
fans
bro. We
outside
had
of
like Miami
Milwaukee?
just ran out of fans. Of course, Miami fans gonna be quiet when they trash all year, but when they win it, they gonna be loud. Simple.
You must have not watched
Simple.
the Heat
We
in the
about to act like
playoffs
the
then, because
Knicks.
it be
It's the
hella
same. It
East
was the same
wide
when the Knicks
open.
were
They
when
be
the
having
Knicks were
mad East
losing.
open, bro. The Heat,
But Kyrie, you
they
know
not
this
even
better
like
than
that.
anybody. You a Knicks fan. When the Knicks were losing, right? Everybody talked about how Julius Randle said the last series, like this, like the one of the worst cities to play for because they boo you. They cheer the other team. They gonna be cheering LeBron. The Knicks do the same thing. It's
Yeah,
just when their
but
team is
I'm
winning,
talking
they're
about
gonna
it from
cheer
a
their guys. The
standpoint
same
as
thing with
far as
Miami,
away
especially in the
teams
playoffs.
traveling. The Knicks travel well everywhere we play.
I know, but Miami got their fans, bro. I'm just letting you know. Miami got their fans. But
We'll see about it.
I think the last pod, I think I said I had the Knicks in seven, but I changed my mind because y'all kind of changed my mind on the pod. It ended, but I think Miami defensively, and then I just don't trust the Knicks offense at all. And I think I mean it just for me, like it's like I said in the first in last episode. It just depends on how Miami's offense holds up because they keep playing like how they've been playing. I think they win the series. I don't know in how many games, but I think Miami was a series that they keep the offense up, and they kept the offense up the first two games so far. And the defense is always going to be there. Obviously, the big three is playing good for the Knicks right now, but like it just seemed like I said in the first part, like obviously Jimmy set this play up, but everybody else set their play up too. Like all the shooters started hitting when they were one of the worst shooting teams in the league. They were the highest scoring team in the playoffs. Like Miami just they just got guys who are like, hey, we're gonna step up now. Like it's time. And I think it starts with Jimmy. Obviously, they look at what Jimmy's doing. Like if he's stepping up, we gotta step up too. I think everybody's looking at him and thinking that it also depends on Jimmy's health because I remember last year with Boston when he got hurt, he came back in like 2 games. He had like 8 points and then 10 points or something like that. So like I think when Jimmy gets hurt like that, he sometimes he'll manage it a little too much instead of just just playing full fledged because he just wants to be on the court. Like I think like we even saw the last game. Obviously he wasn't able to play, but like he's still on the court. He was just sitting in the corner and just switching off everybody, and like he wasn't doing anything. I just hope that when he comes back, when he eventually comes back, it's not the same thing as it was like last year against Boston when he came back and then he wasn't really as aggressive and he was scoring 8 points. Like I think Miami, as well as their role players have been playing, I don't think they're going to continue to keep winning games or competing in games versus the Knicks without Jimmy Butler being Jimmy Butler. So I think that's another
That's
huge aspect to it. Health is a big aspect for both teams. I mean, we talked about Randall being injured and Brunson dealing with the ankle, but yeah, I mean, just Miami's defense is going to hold up regardless. It's just about what their offense is going to do, and it's the same thing with the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks defense is going to hold up. It's just about what their offense is going to do, how they're going to play. But it's just the fact that Miami's offense has been so good in the postseason. If they keep that up, I don't see the Knicks being them.
all right. That's a great. Hey, listen, I like the analysis scene. I like it. Kyrie, one last take before we swing it off to the final matchup of the second round.
Oh
Hey,
my
I
I'm
God,
don't got much else to
gonna
say.
start with them.
you
Where is
say
he?
Philly and Boston for the main event, bro.
Of course. Hold on, but let's hold on. And I'm gonna let Johnny start with that. But go ahead, Kyrie. Finish your take.
Let's dive into it. Let's go.
Let's dive into the meat and potatoes, man. Listen, I'm tired of staying in
I,
New York.
can
Let's
I
go
can
to
I go
Philly,
after
man.
can I go after Johnny though, please?
Oh yeah, let's go to
I
Philly,
just
man.
need I just need to rip Boston. That's all.
You might as
Man,
well let me go first then. Get out the
no,
way.
not either. I'm gonna let the Sixers fan go first. Johnny, please talk to him about the Sixers being up in one. James
Oh,
Harden turning back
brother.
the clock.
Oh my
My
God.
man dropped 45. He was
No, he
spectacular.
didn't. No, he didn't
Hold
just
on.
say that.
He,
No,
he was
Wait, what he
spectacular.
say?
no.
He
What Colin
You,
say?
you
he
mean?
he,
You even won with
he
What he
Philly.
say?
That was
oh,
your man?
just for listen. For that
What
game,
he say,
Yo,
Chris?
he was my man's. But hold on,
yo,
Yo,
hold
you
Chris.
been
on.
talking
See,
Oh
greasy
my
about Harden,
God.
see,
Tyler. You been
I
talking
do.
see,
I
greasy
sure
greasy
do.
see,
about Harden.
I
see.
absolutely do. I don't deny it.
When
I
the
don't deny
trade
it.
went down
But he
last year,
stepped up.
when the yo, be quiet. See, when the trade went down last year, this man didn't even want Harden in Philly. Now
I
we
did
hyping
not
him
want
up like the
Harden.
Oh
one
my
game.
I did
God.
not want Harden in
That was
Why we
Philly.
it. His
still
You
man.
just
winning? You had
Harden
won
in
your
Philly.
games. You shot 34% in the first round. Y'all
Yo,
still
Listen,
winning?
listen.
and
We
after
just
after
beat
we
After
let
Hold
y'all
on,
see
after
all
the
the playoff
after they
Listen,
teams,
got
you
eliminated
was
by
on
the
you
Bro,
was on the
Nets, you
Titans.
didn't
we're
say he didn't want
relaying the
Harden.
Sixers fans, easy to please.
Chris. I need you
Sixers
to
fans,
relax.
easy to
Your
please,
team up
man.
2-0. Relax, my boy. You got a lot of energy
Yo,
today. Relax. The
I need you
Nuggets,
to stop
the Nuggets are
stop
fine.
with your sides.
The Nuggets are fine. It's
You
fine.
you like
Relax.
Harden, you don't
Relax.
like Harden. You don't flip flop.
Relax. I listen. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. Shout out to James Harden.
You
He played
said
well.
no,
Let's.
no. You said the difference between giving somebody credit and just saying they're your man. You said my man James Harden when you didn't want this man to Philly since the trade happened.
I sure did, but this time he stepped up when I didn't expect him to. So I got to give him all the props, and I got to go a
Yeah.
little bit overboard. Granted, so let's see how he plays the rest of the series. But Johnny, let me swing it to you before we let the haters go ahead
You
and
better
voice their
you
opinions.
better hope
Kyrie.
you better
Hold
hope
on,
this man
wait,
average
wait,
25
Christopher.
for the
All right,
series, man.
Chris. Okay, Chris. Let's bring it back to the Johnny. Johnny, the advocate. Talk to him about the Sixers and how why this being up 1-0 is just magical for so many reasons. But who do you have winning this
Being up
series?
1-0
1-0
is
is
magical.
magical.
Relax. Steve, who's your team? Who's your team again, Steve?
One
Yo,
Let me know
one
what it is.
zero is
Which
magical.
side you on?
Yo,
1-0 is
why
Which
is
side
magical,
you
Colin.
on?
hold up,
All
hold
right,
up.
Chris. Now,
You
Chris,
said being up
relax.
1-0 is
Relax,
magical.
Chris. Chris, relax. The Nuggets probably won't win the championship, but relax. Johnny, go
Neither
ahead.
will the Sixers.
Johnny, as I was saying,
Play the
continue.
song. Play the song. If you're a Sixers fan, you know what I'm saying. Play the song.
Play the song.
Clap. Yeah,
I
you know
don't
how
have
that go. I
my phone
wish we
with
had.
me.
We're gonna get that audio later. We're
Very
gonna get that audio
unfortunate,
later.
but go ahead.
But with that, we're gonna get that audio later. But mainly, what my client means to say is, when he says magical, the thing is, it just made it. He just trying to speak on how special the win was because we were like a 10-point underdog.
So
And the
what?
simple fact that we were like James Harden, shell of himself. Y'all know the Sixers storylines, y'all. Second round, getting bounced out. We got to get over the hump. Embiid's injury problems. Doc can't coach. Our depth issues. Like y'all know our storyline. We know the
Bro, you
storylines
you
because y'all
talking
It's,
like
always
y'all
want to
won
push
the
the
series.
storyline.
Y'all won a
But the fact
game.
that they
wait, Steve,
You
no
Steve,
talking
hold
no
on,
like
Steve.
no
Let
Messi.
him talk,
no
Steve. Let him
Oh
talk.
my God! But I'm just saying y'all talking like
He's
y'all
gonna
won the
talk.
series. Y'all
Steve,
bro,
won
we,
I'm
one
not. I'm
game.
not.
Steve,
I'm not. Nobody said nothing. I'm just
relax.
explaining. I'm just explaining what my client is saying when he means magical. That
Yes.
when it first of all, in the long run, Sixers in the long run, Sixers is seven. But what my client is trying to say is that, and despite everything that I had aforementioned, and y'all keep reminding us of, they laughed at us. They all laughed at us. But who's laughing now? At the end of the day, Boston has holes. They showed it in the Atlanta series, and they showed it last night. Now, at the end of the day, I know we all want to go to James Harden and just be like, yo, can you give us one more of those? Most likely not. We get that. I understand it, but who knows?
That's
But at the
fair.
same time, my thing is this. The fact that Tobias Harris, Maxey, Paul Reed, I'm talking about the others here. Harden gave us that.
Anthony
And at
Mel,
the end of the day, at the end of the day, we will take it, especially Melton with those back-to-back-to-back
5 to 6
threes when they
from
went on,
three.
when we were down 12 when they went on that run. At the end of the day, now at the end of the day, why Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown didn't get as many field goal attempts in the fourth quarter, I don't know. I ain't the coach. I don't care. All I know is that we came out. We stole game one. All right, we took home court advantage. We did it against the odds. Like a lot of people lost a lot of money. We did it without the MVP. And now at the end of the day, we have the luxury of actually sitting him, risking a split, and just coming back to Philly and starting him there. But the fact is, we don't got to force nothing because if we would have lost last night, like we were, I guess, supposed to, we would have had to force Embiid back, and it probably would have made his condition worse. But the fact is that we got the option to even sit him in this second game. I'm not going to say it don't matter, but at the end of the day, we can at worst split. But the fact that they all laughed at us, they laughed at us, see, and you can play the song. Stop it. All right, Harden still got something. All right, he still had like a little ounce, something left in the gas tank to get us down the block. All right, we got down the block and we got where we needed to be. Tobias Harris, 18 points. Maxey, he doesn't play good against Boston, but he's actually showing his development. He continues to grow before our eyes. Anthony Melton, once again, one of the sneakiest,
Four
low key best
steals. He
pickups
was great
ever.
defensively.
Yeah, Maxey had four steals. The Anthony Melton, one of the sneakiest, low key best pickups ever. Paul Reed, I'm wondering why we didn't get rid of him at the trade deadline. See, I'm like, why Paul Reed still on the team? Why we didn't get this person? Why we ain't put him up? I guess somebody don't want him. 15 boards in the closeout game against Brooklyn. And how many boards did he have last night? The fact
I
is
think it,
doing the
yeah.
garbage, doing the dirty work. I'm just so proud of what we set ourselves up for. And I
Mm.
got sixes and seven. Y'all can go ahead and talk, man.
6 and 7. All right, now Kyrie, you said you
Oh
want.
my
Hold on,
God.
wait, Steve. Hold on,
Play the
Steve.
song.
Hold on,
Why do you have
Steve.
sixes and
Kyrie.
seven, Johnny?
Wait,
No. I
Steve.
have to.
You gotta get your turn.
Fuck that, Colin. Fuck that, Colin. Johnny, explain why you have the sixes and seven, bro. Please. What about the matchup makes you say sixes and seven? Tell me.
And
He
B will
said,
come back.
What does that mean? But bro,
"What
so
does that mean?"
I can't like my team more.
Oh,
I'm saying you.
I can't like my team
That's
more.
cool. So
what?
When Kyrie's a Knicks fan, when he talked about the Knicks, he gave examples of why he thinks the Knicks will beat the Heat. He didn't say, oh, because Julius Randle's playing. He didn't say that. So give why. What
I
about the
can't
matchup
not well
makes you
nah
think the
you
Sixers will
that's
win the
a
series in
I
seven,
think
bro?
saying Embiid playing is a little bit heavier statement than,
It is. It is.
but I get your
Embiid's
point.
obviously
Now
on
I'm
the
not
team,
even don't
but
even bring
yeah,
Kyrie into that. But
I'm
no,
just
bro,
saying, bro. I need some reasoning. What about the matchups makes you think that the Sixers will beat them?
well after what I saw last night, if we can continue with the others, Tobias Harris, if he continues to assert himself in the offense, and if he continues to help out Maxey, and D'Anthony Melton, if he continues to just knock down shots. Honestly, bro, the reason it's as far as the matchups of the matchup, we played this team 4 times. I ain't looking at matchups. I'm looking at basically what we need to do to beat this team. And what we need to do is continue is the others. Our bench needs to continue to hit shots, and at the same time, the Meltons, the Tobias Harrises, the players that are supposed to show up consistently. I need a consistent 18 to 20 points from Tobias Harris. I need a consistent 2 to 3 3-point shots made by DeAnthony Melton. I needed consistent community effort. It was an overall community effort. At the end of the day, Jason Tatum, especially on the defensive end, like the adjustments that Doc made on the defensive end to crowd the lane when Tatum was going to the rack.
Mm.
And the fact that I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how Doc had them closing out, but our closeout game was on a beam, like just the effort level. I think it was more so just on that note than the fact of the matchups because we knew who we were going against. PJ Tucker was on Jalen Brown. I didn't expect Jalen Brown to not have for that to be effective, but it was enough of an effort. Now, at the end of the day, Boston will probably make adjustments and get those players more shots. I mean, especially you got to get your best players more than like what
But
3 field goal attempts. Steph
Yeah,
Curry had
Jalen
like
Brown was
11 field
probably
goal
twenty
attempts.
Jason
five.
Tatum,
Steph
Jason
Curry had
Tatum,
11 field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. The other like against that closeout game, but at the same time, I'll expect that. But I think it just has to be a continuous community effort. I'm not expecting 45 from Harden, but I am expecting 20 plus. I am, and
Yeah.
I feel, and I be so. As far as the matchups, it's a divisional game. It's a blood rivalry. We know who they are. They know who we are. We know what we have. I think it's just going to have to be effort on our part.
it is. But see,
All right,
before
I ain't wanna go out. I just want to hear some reason because I think the Sixers they have a chance to win the
Play the
series, bro. I'm
song.
not saying they don't, but I just
listen,
want to hear
Jay.
some. I just wanted to make sure you wasn't just being like, "Oh, the Sixers is my favorite team, so I'm
Oh
gonna pick
yeah,
them to
yeah,
win."
word.
That's
Oh
all.
yeah, yeah.
No,
I
see,
am drinking the Kool Aid a little bit though.
All
Don't
right,
get
bro,
see,
twisted.
bro.
and it seemed another fact that maybe Johnny hadn't thrown in there, but I'm out throwing in there. The Celtics did play. They did. Jason Tatum usually when Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown play well, they usually win the series. Al Horford contributed for the Celtics, and then Malcolm Brogdon came off the bench and gave 20. It's not like the Celtics didn't play. They played. They gave it their all. We were
Yes,
still able
sir.
to come out on top, and Joel
Now,
wasn't even
the
there.
thing,
So that itself
That's
speaks
a
the thing
good
volumes.
though,
win.
is the
I'm not
Celtics
expecting James.
they folded, bro.
They really
Bro,
did.
look, listen,
They had that
listen.
They
game won.
folded.
They had that game
They
won, bro.
They
They had
folded.
that
folded.
game won.
Listen,
They
They
do it
hold
all
on,
year. If you watch the
cause
Celtics, they fold
wait.
sometimes.
I
If
let the
you
They
watch
Sixers
the
do.
Celtics,
finish,
Sometimes,
they
but
fold, bro.
most of the
yo,
time the Celtics are. We not go this. Most of the time the Celtics are clutch, bro. We not. I'm
That's
not
what
even gonna sit there
Celtics
and
are
hold you.
clutch.
Most of the time they're clutch. Most of the time they're clutch.
And for us as a team, and listen, like Johnny said, no one's expecting Harden to play like that again. Honestly, no one's that should even expect that. I'm expecting for Harden though. He did say in that post conference, if they need me to be a scorer, and I think he hasn't scored. They haven't really asked him to score a lot through the regular season, not because
Bro,
more
Doc
so
been
it's
asking him to
taxing
score all
on his
year. What are
body.
you talking about?
But
Every
James
interview,
Harden,
Doc been saying he wanted Harden to score.
I don't know what he's talking about with that one.
but post listen,
Nah,
James
he
Harden
wanted. Doc was talking like taking turns. Doc was talking like, oh,
taking
I heard in
turns.
this segment.
He want
He
he
was like,
been
oh,
saying
when
all year he
Joel's
wants
out,
Harden to be aggressive as
It's
a
more
scorer.
so he didn't want James Harden to be, like he didn't want to make it his sole responsibility. But James Harden, if he could just give us, like Johnny said, if he could give between 20 to 25, and I'm not expecting 40
Yeah,
ever again.
even that,
If he
like I understand he had a great game, but even that, we're not going to ignore the first round. He's like 34% from the field. Like I'm not
no,
saying
of
obviously
course,
you hope he's going, but I'm just saying these are questions you have to ask with James Harden. That's my main thing is that the Sixers have these question marks, whereas
of
like
course,
Harden,
well,
like
he looked like he was holding back because I remember him saying in the post press conference, he said that I knew what my job was for this team, and that was to
right.
get everybody else involved. So that's making me low key think, did you just like have that in the bag and you was just low key holding
nah,
it back for the
bro, he
playoffs?
just he
But
just
I
shot
But
understand.
bad.
All right, maybe, but at the same
Yeah.
time, who's to say he can't get? Who's to say with that logic right there can't get him 20,
right,
solid
No, I'm
consistently?
not saying he can't. I'm just saying for me. The reason I lean towards the Celtics is because the Sixers have more question marks, and that's been my whole thing
that's
with Philly all year. Is just the question
and
marks
that's
with
fine.
them.
Absolutely, y'all. Like I said, y'all
Yeah,
reminded us of the storylines that surrounded us all year, bro. Well, actually,
for
the
But
sure.
past couple years.
let
But
let
I
just
think
so into
When Philly's playing like that and everybody's hitting their shots and they playing the defense the way they were, Philly's
right,
one of the best teams in the league. They could beat anybody when they're playing like that.
no
It's just
doubt.
about consistently playing like that.
Kyrie, why don't you go ahead and then swing to Chris and then see that we got to end off this episode. Go ahead, Kyrie. Who do you
Sure.
have winning this
Yo,
matchup between the Sixers, Celtics? How many games?
I want to give y'all your props for last night. Yeah, y'all was trailing the whole game. Feel me? James Harden had a crazy night. He was picking his shots right. He was getting to his spots. D'Anthony Melton had a good game. He was playing great defense out there. But honestly, I feel like the Celtics gave y'all this game, and I'm really not trying to take anything away from y'all, but I feel like they gave y'all this game. I don't
Okay.
I don't understand how you shoot over 70% for over half the game,
Right.
and you don't have a lead over 5 to 8 points. on the team. They're within 5 to 8 points with you the whole time. You're shooting 70. You're getting anything you want. Jason Tatum went through the lane like 6 straight possessions, bro. Got a
He's
layup and one
39.
like every
14,
time.
yeah, 14 for
They
25.
ballooned to lead the
Pretty
12.
good
They did
field
go on a
percentage.
run. I remember that run. They ballooned to lead the 12.
Right,
Yeah,
Brent, let Kyrie
but
finish.
y'all was. But this is the thing though. Y'all was never out of the game though. Not at one point would I feel like, oh, y'all out of the game.
Never.
Not at one point.
Not one time.
And just their simple, like the simple mistakes they made towards the end. Jalen Brown and his few turnovers towards the end, they were just like just nutty mistakes that I don't. The Celtics don't normally they don't normally make. Not that not when I watch them like in crunch time. They don't normally make those type of mistakes. They don't normally fail to execute certain things like they did last night. Marcus Smart had a few clutch plays and but it seemed like whenever him and Malcolm Brogdon left the floor, their defense just collapsed. The perimeter defense just collapsed, and there was nothing. There was nothing they could do with Harden. Nothing they could do with Melton. And yeah, and the Celtics scare me in a way because we seen this last series with them too. They play with their food. They were supposed to been close the Hawks out. Lost the closeout game in Boston to Atlanta without DeJounte Murray. Mind you, they was leading the whole game. Let them come back, steal that game, and extended that series longer past when it needed to be, as long as it needed to be. So I to get back to the main question, Colin, I definitely see that happening to them this series. And that game last night. And again, it's only one game. This game one, but that game I didn't even mention you guys without Embiid. His presence on both ends of the floor was definitely like you could see it. It was missed like sorely, and you guys just fought through it. You guys just played as a co. That's probably the best I've seen y'all play without Embiid like in a while. Like, and I just think the Celtics they just let it fall through their hands, and I feel like they'll have a lot of moments like that in the series where they got the game in the bag, but just the focus isn't there towards the end of the game, and they lose it. So I give you like I give you guys much more of a chance than I did like in the beginning. So I think this is going to go to 7 games. I still want to give the slight edge to Boston though, just because I'm such a believer in the Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown tandem. Like Colin said it, when they both have it clicking, like it's not much you can do to stop those guys. And Jalen Brown didn't even take a lot of shot attempts last. I think he only took like 10 shots. He still had over 20 points. But PJ Tucker guarded him off ball. His physicality had a lot to do with that, which Johnny alluded to. But uh I think Joe Mazzulla finds ways to scheme them open. I think Malcolm Brogdon continues to come off the bench and be a huge factor offensively and defensively, and as a playmaker too. Malcolm Brogdon is really just he was just the perfect pickup on this offseason for them because he can do things on both sides of the floor. He's just such a good all around player. He's able to bring those guys together. And another guy I want to shout out to is Derek White because he's been playing really good too. His defense and his ability to get out in transition and finish is going to come up big too. And Boston's really just got to use their depth. Those guys I named, the Grant Williams of the world, Robert Williams, Al Horford, all those guys, they just got to use that depth, that advantage they have in bodies over the Sixers. And they just got to execute. That's what all it comes down to. But I think it's going to come down to Boston in 7.
Great analysis, Kyrie. Don't disagree with you. Chris and then Seam. But Chris, who do you have winning this series? How many games and why? Then Seam. And then we'll end it off with this.
All right, so I do have Boston winning in 7, kind of for the same reasons that Kyrie stated. I feel like my concern with the Sixers is yes, I'm not gonna discredit the game that James Harden had. He went crazy. He did what he's supposed to do with Joel Embiid out. But I want to see if him and Tobias Harris, most importantly, can not do what they did yesterday, but have impactful games and big moments. So let this series get to like a 2-2. We had a game 5 in Boston. Will they show up then? Let's just say the Sixers are up 3-2 going to game 6. Are they going to show up then? Or they're down 3-2 in game 6. Are they going to show up then? I just feel like just due to just the history of seeing Harden and Tobias playing key moments, I feel like that could be a problem for the Sixers. Again, I'm not going to take anything away from what they did yesterday. They did win the game, but I more so feel like Boston lost the game more so than the Sixers won. Now, I say that because, for example, Jalen Brown only took 10 shots. He had 23 points. He did, the last I think the last shot he took in the fourth quarter was with 10 minutes left. Jason Tatum, the last shot he took in the fourth quarter was with 11 minutes left. Those are your two best players. Why are they not shooting the ball? Why are they not getting the ball? Yes, Marcus Smart made a couple big plays down the stretch, no doubt about it. But at the same time, Marcus Smart had the ball down the stretch. Malcolm Brogdon had the ball down the stretch. Everybody except your two best players had the ball when they need a bucket the most. That's just inexcusable. It's inexcusable that Joe Mazzulla countless times was just I guess telling his team to switch on pick and rolls and letting Harden go to work on an Al Horford. Like that's not what you do, especially down the stretch. You want Jalen Brown on that man, fight over the screen. Marcus Smart, fight over the screen. Tatum, fight over the screen. Whoever's on Harden down the stretch or Maxey down the stretch, you have them to fight over that screen. You can't just switch everything. Or if you're gonna switch everything, you Al Horford can't be in the game because he cannot keep up with James Harden. Now James Harden he wanted that matchup constantly last night, and he never made the adjustment. To think okay, maybe we need to fight over screens. Don't switch everything. Now, yes, the Celtics have a lot of wing defenders, but when you switch everything like that, you're sooner or later there's going to be a mismatch taking place, and that's what the Sixers wanted yesterday. That's all they wanted, and they exploited it. Uh, Again, I feel like Boston's going to win because I think that they're going to make adjustments. I feel like they're going to win game two tomorrow, so it's going to be 1-1 going back to Philly. Now, definitely adding Joel Embiid into the mix is a completely different factor that we don't have to talk about till he does play. And like you said, because you guys stole game one, he now has the privilege to sit out a game because now you guys technically have home court advantage now. They need to win one in Philly. So I think the big thing for Boston is Joe Mazzulla needs to work on his adjustments. Joe Mazzulla needs to work on his game plan, definitely. Because I can't believe I'm saying this. Doc Rivers clearly outcoached him last game. And and you know how I feel about Doc. I think Doc is a good
Me too. All of us.
He got outcoached by Doc. You can't get outcoached by Doc Rivers. I'm not saying that as an insult to Doc because he's a good coach, but we've seen the mistakes he has made over his career constantly. Joe Mazzulla showed he's a first year coach last game. He can't do that next game. Next game, he needs to find a way to make sure Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown get shots up. Even if they're off, both of them need to take at least 20 shots a game. Even if they go 2 for 20, if they go 2 for 20, you can blame the game on them not making shots. They need to both take at least 20 shots a game. You're not going to win if they don't do that. But I still got
All right.
Boston 7 because I think down the stretch, I just don't trust Tobias and Harden to play big in key moments.
That's fair. That's fair. Seem last but not least, the spotlight's on you, and then we close it out. Who do you have winning this series? The gigantic matchup of the East. Who do you have, and how many games, and why? And then we'll close it off with there.
My opinion doesn't change, but I got Boston in six. I just
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say five. Same. I thought you were gonna say five. To be honest.
uh
I thought he was gonna say five, honestly. But go ahead.
I got Boston in six because thing with Philly is, bro, even with Embiid, obviously they're a better team than Embiid, but the thing with Philly all year is just like when they're playing at the top, when they're playing the way they're supposed to be playing, and the shots are flowing, they're not making as many turnovers, their defense is locked in, they could beat anybody, but they're not always playing at that level. The Sixers are like Anthony Davis as a team, like they're just inconsistent, and I think Boston is more consistent than Philly is. Boston is, and even with Boston's sole last game in the clutch, but Boston is arguably the clutchest team in the league most of the time. Like they usually take care of their shit. And I mean, yeah, last game they saw it. I mean, that Malcolm Brogdon turnover was was crazy. Like he just threw it right to Maxey with like a point 0.5 seconds on the
That's
clock.
because
Like
we
that was
ran him off
wild.
the 3 point line. We ran off the 3 point line three different
No,
times.
it
We
was
was
good. It was
closing
great
out.
defense. It was good. That was elite
Right, it
defense. It
was
was a
great,
great day.
but I'm sorry, I seem to cut you off, but that goes back to what I'm saying. Why does he have the ball at that moment?
Well, I mean, they got it out of Tatum's hand. Like it's not like they got it out of their hand. The Sixers, it was a shot clock violation. Damn near. Maxey got it like at the last possible second, and like it just worked out perfectly for them. But I just think Boston is more consistent of a team than Philly is. Like Boston's gonna play good most of the time. Like it's like obviously Tatum is gonna have his games where he might not shoot as well, but Boston just has so many guys that are gonna step up. Whereas like with Philly, it's like you never know. Like Philly tomorrow is probably gonna score like 80 points. You just don't know. And the thing with Embiid is I think we saw Embiid versus Brooklyn kind of like not struggle, but they were able to tame him. Like they were able to keep him under wraps and not let him dominate. And I feel like Boston can somewhat replicate. I think it'll be a little tougher for Boston because they don't have a Nick Claxton. I think Claxton was like huge in that part, but also Boston has a lot of guys who could swarm and be, and they like a lot of guys that can get under him right when he makes his dribble, and B has shown before like he's like some games he's not the best decision maker, but I think he's been a lot better this year. The key to Embiid is just the last time they all played Boston in the regular season that I saw, where Embiid was just like fuck whoever on me. I'm gonna just dominate. Like I'm gonna make them move before y'all did. The defense can't even react. And B had to play that the whole series. And I don't know
We
if
needed the
Embiid's
beat
body,
down.
yeah, and I don't know if Embiid's body will hold up to be able to play like that. And
Yeah.
that's unfortunate because it's out of Embiid's control. But like he's not healthy, and that's gonna be a big part of it too. Is just Embiid be able to consistently dominate the way he needs to dominate to be a Boston Celtics team? Because Embiid's the best player in the series. There's no doubt about that. But it's just about him consistently being that dominant presence for the Philadelphia 76ers. And then obviously the guys have to step up, or the role players. But y'all role players have been good. I feel like the whole
Yes.
players they've been good.
Jaden
They've been good all year.
or Reed.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have good role players. For me, it's just about Embiid maintaining his dominance, which with his knee, I don't know if he'll be able to do. And I think Boston's going to get a game or two where they're gonna tame him. They're going to tame him, and I feel like
That's
that
fine.
it'll probably hurt. And I don't. I Harden was great. I just don't trust him. Like I don't think he's going to continue
Yeah,
to.
you know, Doc
Yeah,
pulling him to the side like, yo, you got one more of those?
yeah. I don't know if Harden's good. I don't know. It might be. I'm hoping.
Maybe,
I want to see a
maybe
good series, so I'm hoping Harden can keep it up. But like. Next game,
not. I
Harden will
just
fucking
feel
around
like
have 12 points on 2 for 15 shooting. Like you just don't know what Harden.
Hey, but he'll
right.
be 12-12, 12
Yeah, he
down.
going. The playmaking gonna be there. The playmaking gonna be there. But yeah,
His
I
free
got Boston in
throws,
six just
his
because I feel
free
like Boston's just more consistent as a team. So my opinion doesn't really change just because Philly won a game. I had them winning 2 games anyway. So
Oh, you did? Oh,
Boston was
Johnny,
it.
I'm
wow.
gonna let you close it out, and then we're gonna close the episode. Anything else you want to
Play the
add before we
song.
close?
That's all I got to say. Play the song,
Let's,
boy.
I,
Let's bring our
I
boy
don't,
back, man. Play the song,
I
man. That's
don't,
it.
I don't got my phone with me, man. I
I
don't. But
know we got to get it.
we're gonna put that on defense, man. That's in due time. But with that being said, that concludes episode 103 of the Restricted Zone podcast. A very nice and long episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. A lot of debates, a lot of side debates. It was all entertaining. Shout out to the crew. Chris, Mar, Johnny, Kyrie, and Scene. Appreciate you guys. Love recording every time with you guys. See you guys this Thursday. We're gonna do our pre-lottery mock draft. That'll be up on Thursday too. We're gonna record it and then we'll have it up there. You can check us out on all streaming platforms as well: Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever's out there. We're on it and we have it. You can also subscribe and like, turn on the post notifications on YouTube. This video and most of the videos will be on YouTube, so definitely give us a like, subscribe. Helps us with the algorithm. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of the games, and have a great day, everybody. Hold on.